Right, start recording that one again. Right. Everything's fine that end. Da-da-da.
No spoilers for Andor. I've got the final episode to watch.
I haven't even
So
watched
I
any of
wasn't going
them.
to do spoilers. Oh, it's so good.
We can discuss up to episode 9.
So,
Or 10, or whichever one of the
You'll have
last
to remind me what
episodes.
happens so I know which bit not to spoil. It's been.
That's a good point. Have you watched them all, Joel?
no, I haven't watched any of them yet.
Oh, all right. Better not say anything then.
We'll be. Oh, I remember what happens now. Yeah.
yeah?
We'll be.
Oh,
Is
stop
that-
talking.
Hello, Lewis.
Quick, shh. Stop talking about him.
We were about to censor the
Damn it.
podcast, but now we're.
Oh, it's a bloody. Every time I open this bloody thing, it wants an update, and it takes 20 minutes to do it. I'm bloody nightmare. I tell you. Never had this with Skype.
Skype kept asking me to update it.
Yeah, but you can ignore it.
Because I only ever used it for this. Whereas
Yeah.
Discord I
And
use every day,
then
so-
you also have to remember your Microsoft login because you can't use anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to remember your login for this. It just remembers it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
And yeah,
I just
it
turn it on.
It
and
just
it's
remembers
there.
it. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same. That was the same for Skype for me. They just turned it on.
No.
It was there.
No,
Unless
every
you hadn't
time
logged
I
in in a
turned
while,
on,
then it-
yeah. Then I had to delete all the unwanted messages from people with weird names trying to hook up with me. Yeah, I've done my turn. End my turn.
Still playing. You haven't been kicked out for taking too long then.
I kicked off greatly. I caused a huge ruckus in the Facebook group. Because quite literally, I think when we got off, I came back to my games, and I'd been kicked out of a Ticket to Ride, and we had like a turn or two to go. I think I came second out of 3 with that because there was one guy with even less or used up even more time than me.
Yeah.
And then I think I got kicked out of like a Grit Killer game.
Mm-hmm.
And a
annoying.
Wingspan game. And I said, what am I doing wrong? Why is this not working? Why am I being like punished for this?
Yeah.
And I actually found out, because it's a UK game or UK organizer, he set it up that the timer shouldn't tick down between the hours of 11 till 10. So 11 at night till 10 in the morning.
Oh.
But I'm sure I've been on in the morning and I've seen my timer still ticking down.
Yeah.
So in that kind of cases, and then some people come in and said, yeah, I've noticed my timer coming in. And then some people like, well, I'm in Canada. So that means when I'm asleep,
Yeah.
my timer's still ticking down. And he's come back and says, well, it's a UK organisation.
Sorry,
And, like,
North
people are
America,
saying-
but that's what happens to us.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, where does it state it's UK only? And I went back to the front page and it's like, it doesn't say that at all. And then he was like saying to me, well, you're not taking enough turns. I said, I'm quite literally sitting here as much as possible to take my turns and I'm still running out of turns. Then he put up some kind of link saying, oh, well, here's the evidence of like he brought up several games and some of them weren't even involved with the tournaments, and it's got like little red timers next to it. I said, that means nothing, really. I said, and he says, anyway, you need to be taking at least 5 turns a day. I said, I'm pretty sure I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Someone came in with a snarky comment saying, well, I was in a Ticket to Ride tournament with you, and you were really slow taking your turns, but you still got the win because we just finished in time. And I was like, well, I'm really sorry that I can't sit in front of my computer and I have to go to work. Unlike you, apparently. So glad I got the win.
My word. Yeah.
So, and then it just kicked off. People going, oh, well, this and this and that and this. And then I tell you this, I was about to go back on there. I was really about to kick off. Because playing Lost Cities now. Lost Cities isn't a hard game, right?
Yeah.
Because it's play a card, draw a card. That's it. 3 rounds of it.
Yep.
I was smashing this person on it. I went out. I knew we were getting close to the finish time, but I had to go out. I came back. The game had ended, and he had won. And he even sent me a message saying, I can't win this. You've got to win. Play your turn. But I was out. I couldn't take my turn. And I looked over the log and I worked out that the first night I only took 3 turns, but they didn't start until like 7 or something like that anyway. And then the next days I was like 11 turns, 13 turns, 14 turns, 8 turns, 12 turns, even on the last day, 10 turns. Just still wasn't enough to complete the game in time.
That's just set up badly, isn't it?
It's poorly set up. It's poorly described how it works. And like, I'm actually good. Like, someone actually commented, yeah, this is why I don't join in with it anymore, because it's just too much pressure. It's not fun.
Yeah.
And it isn't fun. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll join in next time.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it in some senses. Like, I really got back into playing Agricola.
I've never played
Which
Agricola.
is kind of... Have you never played it?
That's
You
good.
should. The new,
I played Caverna.
yeah, the new version's out.
It's very similar to Caverna.
Yeah, I have Caverna because
functional.
I got when I was going to get Agricola, Caverna just came out and I bought Caverna instead. And I played it about twice and I find it boring.
You'll probably find Agricola even more boring then.
Yeah, exactly.
I preferred Caverna for the flow of the game.
Yeah.
It's just, I think the reason I don't like Caverna, which I may like Agricola for, is those kind of ridiculous combinations that you can stumble across with the rooms.
Yeah.
And like, so you can be playing a game and someone's doing really well, like, oh, look, they've got a little engine there, but then somebody else, Bob, accidentally stumbled across a thing that makes, there's Jim thinking he's doing well, making 10 points a turn, and suddenly Bob stumbles across a thing, a combo that in the last turn gives him 5,000 points. It's like, what? That's ridiculous. Oh, and an extra 5 for every one of his buildings. It's like, what? Oh, for goodness sake, or rooms.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
All those unbalanced Le Havre, Agricola, they're they're Huey Rosenberg, aren't they?
Yep.
They're all just unbalanced nonsense.
Talk about this session I had. So I'm playing Tapestry quite a bit on Board Game Arena.
Oh yeah.
Just casually.
Yeah.
And I've got my biggest score and the first time I ever covered my capital city board for the first time. And my score was, I'm just going to bring it up because this is the only time I've entered it into like board game stats is this, just so I can remind myself. Where are you?
The only time I've entered it in a board
Tapestry.
game stats, just to remind yourself how good it was.
406 points.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
I have no reference.
Yep. No, you've never played it. Have you played it, Sam?
I played loads.
Which one? Sorry?
Tapestry.
Tapestry.
No.
Stonemaier.
No.
Your first game or so, you're going to be getting probably almost breaking 100 on your first game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the more combos you can get, and the more you can kind of combo multiple civilizations. You can unlock more civilizations.
I think it's also the first time.
Really
Well, I think I'd done 3 end tracks as well.
Yep.
And as I said, covered my capital city board completely, and I had like buildings leaking out the side and off the board and everything. I was just going mad. So it was just like,
that's got to be an
when you get those
record.
combos, no, the record's in like 600. It's insane.
No, because then I seen on the new record is 900.
900.
That's just crazy.
But he did break the game.
Another.
Yeah, I say at that point it's broken. There's no way.
He did break it because he apparently used a civilization that had new adjustments which are only just out.
Which haven't been fully playtested, you mean?
So yeah, it's one of the old Civ ones. Yeah. If you get halfway through, they now actually say if you get this Civ in round 1 or 2, you've got to discard it and get a new one. But he didn't know about that, and they knew as soon as he got that Civ that the game was ended. But they wanted to play it out, and he just dominated.
I do like the fact that Stonemaire are constantly rebalancing them slightly. All these from their tens of thousands of players they've now had on BGA.
Yeah.
And they continue updating them. It's really interesting how they're doing that. It would be nice to have them all balanced to start with, of course, but it's really hard to balance that level.
Are we recording yet or not?
Yeah, we are. I am actually recording.
That's
This
what
is you.
I heard him say that earlier, and I figured, this is great discussion.
Yeah.
Chat.
No, we're recording. We can just carry on as we are. So.
Do you want to do an intro anyway? Or you do that at the very end? 3, 2, 1, and then cut.
Yeah. We've done. That was like the very first Christmas podcast we ever did. We done like a 45-minute intro because we were just talking away, and then I just left it as it was with then the intro right in the middle.
It's like Bond films, isn't it? They get the intros are longer and longer and longer before you get the credits.
So yeah, welcome to the listeners. This is episode 91 of the Devon Dice Podcast. It's the Christmas show, and if you ain't guessed, we're going to talk about anything and everything today. So, but we did start off with board games, so we can't remember about that. So yeah, all 4 of them are back again, which is, I don't know, it's a record so far. So, welcome guys.
Hello.
I hope you're enjoying your Christmas day.
Superb. It'd be nice if it was a bit warmer.
And
or snowy.
I think we can safely say England didn't bring us home a Christmas present this year in the World Cup, but yeah.
Oh dear, English team, what you like?
A little bit difficult when you're playing against 12 French people.
It was ridiculous, wasn't it? God.
That's coming from a Welsh guy.
I was just watching that. It's just unbelievably poor officiating. It's completely played to the French hands. The French knew that they were going to get outskilled, so their plan was, just bring them down because it's less. That the free kick's less damage than them cutting through us continually. That was obviously their plan, and the ref just played to it by not actually even giving the free kicks, let alone the multiple yellow cards that were clearly involved, because that was clearly deliberately fouling every time. It was so odd.
Yeah.
It was the geezer that kicked the ball straight into the. No, I was thinking. Oh, sorry, this is a completely different thing. I was thinking about the very similar refereeing. I reckon that part of the refereeing from that was down to the even worse refereeing in the Netherlands-Argentina game.
With non-stop cards.
Right.
Yeah, where it was literally like, I think there was only like 2 players that hadn't been booked by the end or something, and that was including coaches on the bench. They were all getting booked. But one of them
defense in that one though, like there were like 2 or 3 separate fights. One bit where one of the teams kicked the ball into the other person's dugout at full pelt.
That's what I was going to say, right?
Which I was swearing, like that's just appropriate reffing in my book.
But that one there was inappropriate. Cause the one time he needed to bring his cards out, he didn't, because in that instance the guy hacked down one of the Netherlands players, then immediately booshed the ball straight into the Dutch dugout. He should have been booked for the tackle, and then he should have been booked for booshing the ball. He should have been off.
Oh no! I didn't even watch that game. I was out. That's why. I was kind of just getting the highlights as like the score, but I was out.
Megan's half Dutch, so we were watching that with some flesh in the game kind of thing, and it was. It's quite funny. Megan hates football really, but when the Dutch are playing, she'll happily watch it, and she literally swears blue murder at referees the whole time.
Yeah,
he was absolutely terrible.
Anyway,
Which one?
well, all of them.
It was like the officials have paid off the refs, saying, "Yeah, we want France to get through to the final because we want a good like showdown, and like the reigning champions take on whoever." But
I think to be fair, in the game though, we can't. Yes, there was some dodgy refereeing, but we can't really complain.
Yeah,
the goals they scored were really good. Like Weldies, the out of the box blaster and the cross for the header was top draw. And we didn't play badly. England didn't play badly at all. We were the best team, in fact. So I think it was just one of.
Then we had the chance of drawing it back right at the end, but we blew it.
One of the I think it was Lee Dixon, the commentator, said you'd have put your house on Kane scoring that penalty, and he skied it. And then the other commentator said they needed Gary Lineker, they got Chris Waddle.
Yeah. It was like one of my friends put a Facebook post out this morning. He says, "Yeah, if you go out tonight around about 6 p.m. and look to southeast, you'll be able to see Kane's penalty kick flying over."
Yeah.
Did go quite far.
Yeah, England just failed to take their chances. Really, they had plenty of chances. I mean, the France just shouldn't have been in it. Is the real issue.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a disappointing result, but it was ultimately it was a fair one. So I've got no complaints.
I've got a few complaints.
Well, yeah, no complaints about the actual game itself or England. Normally we'd be at this point going, "Oh, England was terrible and defense was crap and all that sort of stuff." There was none of that. The defense was really good.
They didn't take their chances, but they played very, very well. I mean, again, it just sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? I mean, they weren't really allowed to take their chances because every time they got a chance, they were hacked down.
Yeah, and then they countered and scored.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, never mind.
No, well, never mind. So yeah.
What's next on the discussion list after football, Joel?
Well, I have, and I'm actually surprised. There's actually a couple of Kickstarters come up. That I'm surprised they're bringing out Kickstarters at this time of year because it's usually quite quiet in December, January time. But John.D, the guy that likes to use his Clair cards and things like that, has got a new game out.
I saw that.
End, it's called.
Sounds very interesting.
Looks pretty cool.
The sound of it's very interesting. I'm looking at the artwork and the thing is, it doesn't look all that thrilling from the pictures, but
no,
it looks pretty fun from the description.
Yeah, and it is kind of just flipping tiles over to either they're damaged or upgraded. No clear cards or perspex cards anywhere to be seen, which I'm surprised about. But yeah, I mean, you can get the bog standard game for $35,
which is really good.
So it's about $20
or $40 for screen printed meeples, or $55 for wooden tokens. I mean, who doesn't like those? Brilliant.
Yes, no plastic. I'm in.
Yeah, and that's a very decent price as well.
What's it called?
And
Empire's End.
Empire's End. And Lewis, you'll be happy to hear that if you just get the normal game, it's $5 shipping to the UK.
I don't believe it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
$8 for the deluxe. So your quid's in here.
Seems impossible.
A fairly priced Kickstarter game. What?
It's not full of plastic.
It's got nice art. What?
Yeah, it has got
Is
nice
it good
art,
gameplay though? That's the question. I still need to watch how to play on it.
Yeah, that's the final test of Kickstarter, isn't it?
But it's got.
There's only.
Or we can get a deluxe insert, plastic insert.
I've never heard of John de Clair. Who's John de Clair?
He does all the Joel said he does the transparent card things like Mystic Veil.
What's his fame?
Mystic Veil, that's it. Mystic Veil was a big one.
Good push of that game.
Custom Heroes.
Yeah, Custom Heroes. It was great.
Yeah, that was that big one that I'm always kind of tempted. Edge of Darkness.
That's it. Yeah. Well, he'd also done Dead Reckoning. Yeah. Yeah, Dead Reckoning. Yeah.
The pirate one.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does some great.
Which I've got downstairs, still needing to be played.
And it sounds the mechanics here sound interesting because it's like they've got. I think it said it's like Seven Wonders drafting, but you're also doing no thanks style, trying to get rid of someone every round is going to have to take a disaster, and you're paying to stop you being the one who takes the disaster. But then whoever takes the disaster gets some kind of resource.
Yeah, that's what's
compensation.
Yeah, the disaster's got some resources that you end up getting as a reward.
So something gets destroyed in your city, but you get something back for it.
Yeah, I quite like the look of it. Looks quite interesting.
Oh, everything that everyone else paid to not have the disaster, you get.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll receive all resources paid for that disaster.
So it's nice interaction there.
And add its innovation to your empire. It's also
this
innovation.
Could be a nice little one to back, actually.
For $5 shipping, I mean that's pretty $40 total.
It's interesting that they're committing to shipping costs up front.
Yeah.
Well,
you'd think it can't get any worse, wouldn't you?
I wonder where they're shipping it from.
This is all ready to go, isn't it? So.
It might well be. America and European produced. That's why they can.
It might well be. Because so many have moved now to
they've
Poland
got Lucky Duck are doing the
Czech Republic
European-based stuff, so I suspect that would be the reason that they're getting it done in the Czech Republic, and otherwise.
And there's no plastic, so you don't need to have it done in China.
Yeah.
Well, they do lie about there is plastic, 'cause the insert trays.
In the deluxe version, you can get a tray, but that's just a vacuum form tray. It's not.
And it's got the same kind of tray organisation as Seven Wonders Architects.
The deluxe insert, just to say, I think that's in every copy. It says every copy of the game will come with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Deluxe copy, it's every game will get it, which is interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it does have some plastic.
Linen card finish. I've never understood why linen is a better finish for cards, but there you go.
I think it wears better.
Does it?
Yeah,
and it's a little bit less shiny as well.
And it's got a really nice feel. I really like linen feel. It's fairly pointless.
I don't really like them.
I really like it. I don't like linen feel on rule books like Wingspan. That's just feels weird. Really weird. But cards really like it, and they shuffle nicely and they don't stick together.
I might back this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the other good thing with the linen finished cards, because they've got that very slight texture to them. They do shuffle really nicely.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm really, the fact that it is $5 for shipping is just incredible. That's really good.
And only $5 extra for the deluxe version.
Well, it's $5 for the deluxe, or it's $8 if you have the wooden tokens. So it's it's just $5 regardless.
You don't need wooden tokens here, really.
Whoa now. Calm yourself. What did you just say?
£3. You're not going to say no, are you?
It's not £3, is it? It's
£3 difference between the two.
It's 15
for shipping. Sorry, are we still talking about shipping or not?
Oh no, sorry. The cost of the deluxe edition with wooden tokens is
$15 total. Yeah, so
$15.
Add 3
for
quid shipping difference as well.
Right, an extra £15. Could do that, couldn't you? So, I wouldn't miss that.
Does look good. Looks interesting. So good.
It does.
I'll put a remind me on it.
Ticking a lot of boxes.
And it's delivering September next year. It delivers. Apparently.
September next year. It's obviously not that ready to
9
go.
months.
At the other end of the scale.
The other end of the scale.
At the other end of the scale. Soul, The Last Days of a Star is a reprinting of an old game that came out. I can't remember.
2014.
A while ago.
Yeah.
And it's quite literally a reprint with a high price to buy the game and high shipping, as I can remember. And there's no real extras except for a wooden insert.
They've got the ships look like they've been changed. The models in the ships look like they're different. I did have a copy of this and I never actually got it played.
What's it called?
Soul.
Yeah.
Last Days of a Star.
Oh, Soul as in Sun.
Looks like they've got an insert as well.
And it's pretty much exactly the same as the
$10 million.
Game. Just kind of
$65. It's
Oh,
got a fancy insert.
But then when you add it all together, it's like $100 for a reprint of a game.
$100. Oh,
they want $25 for the wooden insert.
Wooden insert?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
$65 for a copy of the game.
A lot of the components, the momentum. There is a lot of extra.
That looks like a Daedalus insert.
Some of the track boards and the miniatures and stuff are all different as well.
Yeah, I just saw someone complaining about it on the Facebook group, saying he really wanted it, but can you warrant paying like £100 for it?
It's a lot. Yeah.
How much is shipping?
You really like it?
Depends on what you want. UK from £15. Well, oh no, that's for 4 copies of Soul. £15 to £30, depending which kind of one you're going with.
Dollars or pounds?
Dollars. So if you want Soul and the insert, it's $30. If you just want Soul on its own, then it's $25. Or if we've already got Soul and you want the insert, then it's $15.
Soul and insert.
So
$40.
Or if you don't want any of it, ignore it and move on.
Yeah.
$30, $85. Yeah, so $115. Yeah, so you're looking at £100. Almost exactly.
Yeah.
Well, variations.
It's like they planned it.
Again, we're talking about the difference between that and Empire's End. Empire's End, no plastic. That one, plastic coming out of the gills.
Yeah.
So, And I bet you I didn't have a look at the shipping section for that one. I bet shipping will be charged after the project kind of thing. I'd assume.
Estimated.
So, yeah. So yeah, you're gonna add on a bit more for another $20 probably for that. Maybe even that.
Yeah. So I should state that by the time you hear this podcast, Empire's End would have ended already because there's only 4 days left when we record this.
Well, they're late back.
We're not recording on Christmas Day.
Don't break the magic.
What do you mean? It's Christmas where I am. Is it not Christmas for you guys?
It's a time difference.
What's happened?
Devon and Cornwall.
Yeah.
I just don't want the listeners going to Kickstarter and being really disappointed when they can't even get it now. So there might be a late pledge. There probably always is. Yeah. So, but yeah. So that's really it that I picked up on. So no kind of newsworthy stuff unless Nick spotted anything.
There's a couple that we put on the list last time we didn't get to. Which one did we discuss? Tiny Epic Crimes last time?
No.
New Tiny Epic.
It's the new Tiny Epic from Scott Arms. Which I haven't really looked much into because it's yet another Tiny Epic. But this one is investigating crimes across the city.
So what's that knockoff? They're all a knockoff of something. But what kind of game is that a knockoff of? Which game is that a knockoff of?
If I look, it's got the little decoder system thing with the overlay when you put the special glasses over the card and it reveals stuff. So that's done quite a few things, isn't it?
It's a bit like that Lucky Duck one.
With the glasses which look on the 3D.
Chronicles of Crime or something?
Yeah, Chronicles of Crime, that was it?
That had the glasses thing, didn't it?
Yeah, it sounds quite similar. That you're looking for evidence by doing these things and swapping out things and
they're all very well, but I never seem to be able to get them to the table because there's just so much tiny content to try and drag out.
Yeah, they're
too small.
They're too small. They should be bigger games. But then $25 is the base pledge.
That's the USP for it, though, isn't it?
And $30 for the deluxe. So
yeah, and a lot of people do like the tiny epic games because they are tiny epic, as opposed to it being, not unless otherwise the alternative is standard normal games, and
yes,
not really tiny and epic.
It doesn't have the pull, does it? The hook.
Yeah, it's not got the conceit. It's a conceit, but it's one that works for the marketing of the games, doesn't it? So.
I very nearly did Tiny Epic Kingdoms right back the very first one.
Yeah,
very nearly. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure if I had done that, I would own every Tiny Epic game there is. Like I wouldn't have stopped.
Kingdoms was quite nice for a tiny game. It was tiny.
Yeah.
And it worked very nicely for that size. It was good.
Yeah. I just mean, if I'd started, I'd have then carried on.
Yeah, you've been encouraged to carry on.
Yeah, but then I think by the time I decided I wanted to do it, I think it was only on to Galaxies. Was that the second one?
Yeah. Defenders was the second one.
Oh, Defenders. Yeah.
Which was the co-op.
That was the co-op, wasn't it? Yeah. And by that point, I already missed the first one, or I couldn't be bothered, and then I was out of it. So.
Galaxies is my favourite.
Yeah.
Galaxies is quite good.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Everyone seems to like Galaxies.
I've played Galaxies. Joel, do you own Galaxies?
It's a fun little game.
I don't own it, but I have played it.
I thought I played your version.
No, I've never really. I didn't start getting it until Zombies.
Yeah. That's something you can upgrade your ship and things as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got a little model of a ship, like
you upgrade it to get more dice, and you upgrade it to get more actions.
Yeah.
More.
The other one we didn't actually talk about, what we were going to talk about in the last show, was My Little Everdell.
Oh yeah.
Or my little
Everdell. Yeah, that appeared on the hot list, and has now disappeared from the hot list.
Yeah. I found it again. I was searching it, but
I think the hot list is too busy being full with inappropriate games.
It's so cute. It looks. Yeah, this is like in the vein of My Little Scythe and that kind of thing. This is a kids' version of Everdell.
Does Everdell need that?
Well, this is what I said.
This is for age 6+, whereas Everdell, I think you would struggle teaching children under 10 how to play.
You struggle teaching adults over 20.
Enough strategy.
Quite frankly.
Yeah,
I'd say it is ideal for this purely because it's already a very cutesy theme. but it was in quite
Just
a
double
dense
down
strategy game, and I think actually it is perfect from a marketing perspective to make a kids version of it.
But look at the cards; it's the same. Like
they are so cute. Those cards.
Let's find Lewis's dungeon cards. See if they've sorted that out.
And stuff, and it's so much easier though, aren't they?
Oh look, it comes with little cardboard crates to hold the resources in, so they don't roll all over the table. That's nice.
Well, you're doing that for kids, yeah.
Because that annoys me with the main Everdell. Those berries roll everywhere, and the logs are everywhere.
Bloody bouncing around the table, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do that on mine.
But you look, if you're not eating them anyway.
On the computer version, they don't roll around.
Oh no, they're too busy falling off the imaginary table as it glitches through. Bloody nightmare. I didn't put it there. Where's it gone?
Yeah. Can't find Lewis's favourite card.
They've probably taken it out.
No,
it's too confusing.
They've removed it.
It's too confusing. I told you it was, and they realised it was useless. That's what it was.
You can't have a dungeon in a children's game. That just wouldn't work.
Oh, it's got dice to roll. Did it have dice to roll in the other one?
No.
That
must be instead of the
randomization.
Or the spaces. You know, you have those spaces that you randomly select at the beginning of every game. They've just
and there's no tree.
Oh yeah.
No 3D tree. I mean.
Oh well, it's not scarcely worth bloody playing then if it's not a 3D bloody tree. Well, that was the thing that made Everdell.
That was.
I mean, where on earth are you going to put your end game scoring point markers? This game is a joke. They haven't thought of anything in this game. Absolute joke. Oh, I'm back in. They've got an air balloon.
Could this be a game you could get for your kids, Lewis? Seems you're now the only one with young kids.
They've got a dance floor.
They got a dance floor.
Yeah, it could do. Is it released? It's not released yet, is it?
It's not released yet, no.
No, I can't find anything about it though. About when it's going to be released.
That should have just been announced.
Have a look on Starling's website.
Well, like I said, I do. What I thought of Scythe was, excuse me, is the My Little Scythe.
It's due. Estimated delivery is December. This month. If you order it, so it to sound like it is just about to come out.
Well, I'd say like with the My Little Scythe to me is a better game than Scythe in that I think for the game that Scythe is, it outstays its welcome and is overly complex, whereas My Little Scythe does it to the perfect length and complexity that makes it.
I've heard a lot of people say that. Yeah.
Oh, have you? Oh, I thought that was just me.
I've only played Scythe once, the full Scythe, so I haven't got much experience to compare. But
I've only played it 2 or 3 times.
Quicker and easier.
Yeah, I've only played it 2 or 3 times, and every time I got a bit disappointed and bored halfway through.
A bit too
I actually remember our first game because I backed it and it came and I was like, guys, game night, ours tonight. We're playing this, so you all came round, and then at the end of it, you were a little bit kind of anticlimactic in the end. It was like, is that it?
Well, you and Tom absolutely hated it, didn't you? I quite enjoyed it.
I know, I was lukewarm on it, and but then I did play like another 10 or more games of it until I said, nah, it's not really.
Oh, you played that many, did you?
Yeah. I got my money's worth out of it. So,
and then you flogged it for more than you bought.
And then I flogged it for more because I had it, at the time, was that when it was good to sell stuff. So.
The original Kickstarter, yeah.
It
was, well, I quite enjoyed it, but it just, for me, for the complexity of it, like, unless you were really into the theme, and it just wasn't a good enough game to keep my attention for the amount of time it takes to play. Whereas My Little Scythe had it all much better packaged, I felt, and I played with my kids. I've played it a few times with my kids, and they like it, and I like it, and it doesn't outstay its welcome. We've had some tight endings. It's been good. It's felt tense, exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, again, it's Stonemaire games, and I mean, these games are kind of hit and miss, I think. Some people absolutely love every game, and some people only love like 1 or 2. And I'm halfway, I think. And sometimes it gets overhyped hyped with sometimes, I've got this great game coming out. It's going to have mechs in it. It's a dystopian after the Second World War, whatever, set in, and that. And you're going to have these mechs walking through land, and it's going to be worker placement. It's going to be great. And then actually, well, it's not really. It's just putting stuff on the board, and hopefully the resources are still there when you come back for them.
Yeah. It was. I think a lot of people really got into the theme and and Jamie Stegmaier is an absolute king of PR and the hype.
Yes.
He is marketing king.
He is absolutely amazing at it, and he got everyone behind it. And then you put so much money and kind of excitement and energy into it. When it comes, it's very, very hard not to then to break that and say, oh no, actually, I don't think this is as good as I first thought. And I think that's what led to it. I personally, but I also know a lot of people who absolutely love it. So maybe it's just a personal opinion. But I do think people overrated it based on its on the fact they wanted to really like it as opposed to necessarily thinking it was as good as it was.
Yeah. I mean, he started hyping up his game Red Rising, which is based on his favourite books, which got me into it because I was like, okay, I'll give these books a listen. I listened to all 3 of the first books, and it's a good story. It's a bit of kind of, the first one's a bit battle royale kind of themed, and like lower life form rising to the top.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. And he says, I'm making this game, it's going to have this. And says, this sounds really good. And now I've listened to the books, I understand what he's talking about, get the game. And the game was just, really?
Well, it's just Fantasy Realms with some prettier pieces, really.
It was. And then if you haven't read the books, you wouldn't understand why these cards were doing these things and what was really going on. And I mean, I played it a couple of times, and each time people just like, meh, it's all right. Didn't really understand what's going on.
The richness of the story from the books is, you want a bigger game than that.
Yeah.
To do justice to that IP, I think.
Definitely. I mean, he could have done a pretty good game on just the first book alone, because the first book was great, and it was basically battle the fittest, trying to survive.
I described it as like Hunger Games in space.
Yeah, Hunger Games in space. Yeah.
Or on Mars.
And it was great.
What were the books?
Red Rising, they're called.
The Red Rising series.
Yeah.
I mean, it must also be said though that Viticulture is probably one of my favourite all-time games. I love Viticulture.
Mm-hmm.
That was his first, wasn't it? I think.
It was. And then
it wasn't.
No, was it? Was Euphoria before Viticulture?
I think Euphoria was before Viticulture.
Euphoria is terrible, and it unfortunately.
I quite like Euphoria.
Euphoria is.
I see that's the one that really influenced Scythe with that whole do these things and then put a kind of a star on. I've never really liked that. Just kind of get like a random achievement and put a star on towards. I've always found it a bit annoying.
Game. They're both apparently they both came out the same year. Viticulture and Euphoria. The same date.
So which was first? I'm pretty sure Euphoria was his first game.
Oh no, wrong Euphoria. There's too many games called Euphoria.
You could be right. I thought
it is also the other Euphoria is also still the same date. Euphoria Build a Better Dystopia is 2013, same as Viticulture.
Yeah,
it'd be very close. I for some reason I thought it was Viticulture first and then Euphoria.
I thought that as well. Yeah,
I'm sure.
I have no idea why.
The other way round.
It might be because I played it in that order.
Yeah, that's true.
That might be what I'm basing it on, which doesn't mean much.
So anyway. what news have we got for the Clank news corner?
Oh yeah,
there is some.
There is some, yeah. Sam, we got some.
Have you picked up your copy yet?
No, annoyingly. I'm hoping it's. After you must have got the same email as me. Then,
yeah.
Pre-order date the delivery date has changed from like the 30th of December to 14th of December. So might be here for Christmas. I'm meant to be in Crediton on Wednesday morning, so I'm hoping it'll be there by then so I can pick it up.
Yeah, so me and Sam got some great news after discussing on the last podcast that we're not expecting Clank Catacombs to be in this year. We suddenly get an email almost a couple of days later from Meeple's Corner saying it's arriving, and it's now can be yours very soon. So yeah, as Sam says, we'll hopefully be playing it Christmas. Oh, playing it today because we're recording on Christmas Day apparently.
So we're all ready for the review for next episode. Here we go.
Yes. So yeah,
more that's Clank for next episode sorted. Clank News Corner.
Needless to say, the Clank Catacombs pre-order is sold out, thanks to mainly to this podcast.
Just me and Sam.
Yeah, 18 copies.
Want to be sure you get one?
Yeah,
order the lot.
Imagine it's a relatively popular one.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've run out of board game stuff. I played some good video games this year. I know Lewis hates that term.
I do. They're cool. I was even saying it in my head, hold it back.
Yeah. So yeah, the first video game.
Computer games.
What digital games are you playing, John?
No, computer games. They're called computer games.
Yeah, but you don't play them on a computer, so they are
You do.
computers?
You do play them on a computer. What are you talking about?
On my phone.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a computer.
Oh, let me just get my pocket computer out.
Please do. Please do. You can call it what you like. It's still a pocket computer.
So we can call it. We can call a phone whatever we like, but we can't call a video game, what we like.
But the issue with it is it's not a video. That's my issue. It's not. I'm not going to get out my VHS video, am I? And start playing a game on my VHS player. What a ridiculous thing. That's what video means.
Well,
if you want to go
let's have a quick look. So video origin is Latin from videre. Video is to see.
Yeah, it's to see. It's vision. I know what it means, but you were saying, okay, well, you only call a computer in my pocket a phone. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
so what about video game is incorrect? You're thinking more like video cassette, I assume.
Yes. So you're talking about colloquial terms, and that's the reason you didn't like me referring to your phone as a computer.
No, I was taking the mickey out of your problem with video games.
Yeah, many people do. It drives me mad. It's just because I just like it because it's an American term. That's all. It's just.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's all. It's just an invasion. It's an invasion of the English language, and just we need a bit of French about us every now and again
or Latin, depending on how you
it. Yeah.
And it makes a change for Americans to use a classier origin for a name than we do.
Well,
computer game is a bit crap. Video game is much more relevant. We
invented the computer, so maybe you just want to use the thing that we actually invented.
Oh, that will start a whole new argument.
There's no argument there. We invented the computer.
Well, there isn't, but yeah.
Do you know when the first laptop was invented?
First laptop, no.
60s, 70s.
1981, the year I was born.
There we go.
Yeah, I only know that.
On the definition, a computer is a machine or device that performs processes, calculations, and operations based on instructions provided by a software or hardware program. It has the ability to accept data input, process it, then produce outputs. Therefore, they're all computers.
It's a very wide definition, though.
It's also correct. Same with video, though. Same with video. Okay, in that case, video games shouldn't have any sound.
You're saying that VHS shouldn't have any sound?
Yeah, but no. But by the definition, video is vision.
Video is vision. Yeah.
There's no audio there at all. There should be audio-visual games if they really want to call them correct. You know, if they really want to call them their correct names. If the Americans start calling them audio-visual games, I would say fine. You can carry on bastardizing the English language, but until that point,
I think you need to write to the president.
I think using that same logic, though, a computer game is a game played by a computer, not by a human using the computer.
No, it's a game you play on a computer. Game either. No, because you can because you have racket sports that you play with a racket. So computer games are sports are games that you play with a computer. You use them. Yeah.
I love having this conversation. This is so good.
It's brilliant, isn't it? I like we take. we take it really
noticed
seriously
one of my
as
pictures
well.
has fallen off the wall. Sorry. I was like, what is that space on the wall? Why is there a plastic thing on the wall? It's like one of my best pictures has just fallen off the wall.
It probably couldn't handle the fact that you were speaking such Americanisms either. And then he fell off my chair.
So shocked.
Yeah.
Which country was to coin the term soccer for our football?
Yeah.
What's that?
Which country was to coin the term soccer? Calling.
Oh, that's actually probably a UK term. It's a very Welsh term. In Wales, they regularly refer to football as soccer because they call it rugby football, and then they regularly refer to football as soccer. I mean, that's painful in itself as well. I don't like soccer either.
Yeah, British invention.
This is great.
That's British people stopped using around 40 years ago.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What everyone used to call it soccer here as well. Yeah, what an absolute disaster.
The word soccer came from the use of the term association football in Britain, going back 200 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I say growing up in Wales, I heard soccer a lot more than in England.
Right, now there's a piece of is it etymology? Is that the origin of words?
Yeah.
Or the meaning of words. Etymology. Here's an etymological discussion for you. Americans call football their football American football, yet they don't use their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I will take exception to.
Yeah. Well, there is some kicking. They're conversions of field goals.
Yeah, but that would be like us calling football headball, just because sometimes we head it as opposed to
that is true. That is true.
So yes, we can all agree on that one.
Yeah, we definitely can.
Right. So what video games have you played, Joel?
Oh yeah, get back to
computer games.
Which audio-visual computer games have you played, Joel?
Audio-visual games. Audio-visual computer games.
So I talked about one in a previous podcast called the Powerwash Simulator. And I spent.
Oh yes, I think I remember that.
And that looked about as disappointing.
I don't know why. That took hours of my life. That did, but I enjoyed every moment of cleaning.
How miserable does your existence have to be?
That is
take enjoyment in doing the most mundane tasks as entertainment.
I think it's just my OCD kicks in. It's like I'll just clean this bit. And I clean this bit.
Mr.
Oh, it got really frustrating because you've got to clean 100% of it, and if there's like one bit that you cannot find, you've just got to go round the whole thing again, just trying to find this one.
Up to 30 bar.
But, and there's a little
burn
bit of
the house
story.
Down. Then it's clean.
There's a little bit of a story in it. And you get to the last one, and it's basically cleaning this kind of ancient pyramid inside and out. And I think I spent at least a month on it every evening trying to clean it.
A month every evening.
What is wrong with you? Does your wife know you spent that long cleaning imaginary things?
She was sat there sometimes going, "Why do you like this? Why do you play?"
Jesus, it sounds so boring. Oh my goodness!
There was like a truck driving one. What's the? I can't remember. It's like you're in Alaska and you start with like a pickup truck and you have to go and pick up a log truck or something. And you know what I mean?
I think so.
Is it loggers or something? Isn't it? Isn't it called something like?
No, God, I can't remember.
Is it like truck simulator?
It's basically a nice road trucker type thing, yeah. But it's basically go get this truck, then go pick up this trailer from this place, and it was just the most. It wasn't like it was easy. They'd made it hard by just saying, okay, you've got to put the right tires on the thing so that you can go up this slippery, icy slope thing, and you just spend ages trying to wiggle your way up the road. And that's all it was. It was just it's so painful. I gave up. I think I played it for a couple of evenings, like probably about 5 or 6 hours. I was like, why am I doing this with my life?
Yeah. Well, I've recently fully revamped my computer game passion, and I bought a Steam Deck, which I'm quite enjoying.
Oh, nice,
yeah.
Tell us what a Steam Deck is. I have no
Oh,
idea.
do you know? So it's released by Steam. You know, this the online shop. They also make Half-Life and there are a few of their own games. So it's about the size of a Nintendo Switch, portable Switch, and it's basically a portable PC. So
portable Steam.
Yeah, portable
That's
Steam.
the name suggests.
Yeah, and so, but I mean, you can play AAA games. Like I'm playing God of War on it. I'm playing what's that Horizon one? Horizon Zero Dawn. Doom. All the latest Dooms. It plays like AAA games, like full graphics, but like in a handheld form. So it's pretty epic. It's very, very powerful.
Is it like a streaming type deal?
It's not straight. No. It runs entirely offline, entirely on the system. It's built on an AMD SoC, system on a chip, combined graphics and GPU.
So will it have the issue then of like 6 months down the line, it's not able to run AAA titles anymore? Or
well, I mean, presumably like any other PC, you know, it's
that's what I mean though. At least with a PC, I mean, I don't PC game at all.
Yeah.
But I'd be well up for this if it was like.
It's amazing.
It's difficult, isn't it? Yeah, it looks really good.
I mean, if
I'm tempted with the Switch, so it's like.
Oh, I wouldn't get a Switch. They're dead, mate. I've got a Switch as well. They're brilliant and they're great for the kids. But the Steam, if you're looking at that, get a Steam Deck every.
I only care about playing Mario Kart, quite frankly.
In that case, there's loads of people who can show you how to emulate and.
No one's got time for that.
It's to say, okay.
I've got enough money that I don't have to worry about spending half my life trying to emulate something.
I own both. It's one. I bought it for a couple of reasons. One, because it's actually Linux based,
right?
And it runs all these Windows games through Proton, which is a wine derivative. But it's very, very good at it. I mean, you can't tell in any games I played, and they all run super smooth.
Oh, there's a game on here for Joel as well. Euro Truck Simulator 2.
No, pressure washer simulator 2. He wants.
Yeah, that'll do.
So it is really, really good. I've been really impressed with it. So one of the things you can do with it is because it's basically a Linux computer. So you can just, although it's got its own kind of interaction, as in like kind of its own, what's it called? Like it just looks like a normal like Switch software when you go into it and just select the games from Steam. But you can go into desktop mode, and it looks like a normal like an Android Linux desktop, and you can then. So I've got Heroic Launcher for all my free Epic games that I've got in my library, so that links in as well. I can play all those. Yeah, it is really quite impressive. I've been very impressed with it at how well it actually plays everything. And I think Steam are putting quite a lot of effort into making more and more stuff playable on it. But I mean, almost all the big names are there pretty much already.
Powerwash Simulator is there, Joe.
And it is. It's very
in what?
On the Steam Deck, you can get Powerwash Simulator.
Now you don't need to play it on the computer. You can just play it in the palm of your hand.
When they put it on VR, I'll be even happier.
They put House Flipper on VR now.
Oh, no.
Like House Flipper.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Because House Flipper, I'd imagine you'd quite like if you like Powerwash Simulator.
What's House Flipper?
You get like a really rubbish house that's all run down. You have to go around and like clear out all the rubbish, repaint the walls, put up
basically become a handyman.
Redo the kitchen. Yeah, so you flip the house basically. So you get a rubbish house and you do it up and you sell it for more money, and then you keep doing.
It's under the hammer of the simulator.
Yes.
Basically, yeah. But in America, it's called House Flipper, so that's why they.
Well, because the only thing that stood out for me was because I've just finished watching. We talk about TV shows at some point, I'm sure. The TV show we just finished watching is the latest season of What We Do in the Shadows. Has everyone watched that?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that at all.
The silence is telling me a lot. But in the last season of that, they did.
That's the New Zealand one, isn't it? Is that the New Zealand one?
Yeah, but there's like a UK American version of it as well now.
Oh, okay.
But it's still produced by Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement.
Yeah.
So it's still the same production team, but they made a TV series out of it as well. and it's brilliant. It's just one of the funniest things on TV at the moment.
I couldn't really get into the Kiwi one. I didn't know there's an American.
The Kiwi one,
one
yeah.
well.
The things we watched the first season of the show first. Then we watched the film, and it was like, okay, we get where the show got a lot of its stuff from and why it's funny. And that made the film funnier, I think, because we'd seen the show. The show's got Matt Berry in it, for instance, and I've never been a big fan of Matt Berry, but in this, he is absolutely superb. One of the funniest characters in TV. Basically playing these ancient vampires that are just dossing about in Staten Island in New York. It's just amazing. So good. Watch it anyway. But in the last season, they had a whole thing about House Flipper, which I guess must be a TV show.
Yeah, I think it's the American Homes Under the Hammer.
Yeah, and one of the guys on there turns out to be like a vampire that's running this long con against the vampires in the TV show. It's amazing. It's really funny. Anyway, carry on talking about the Steam Deck.
Well, the other reason I really like the Steam Deck was is that they sell pretty much every spare part for it on iFixit, and they sell schematics for it and instructions on how to fix it. So they actively encourage you to fix it yourself, which bucks the trend. So I wanted to support that as well, which bucks the trend. I
wonder if that's going to be the answer. Is like in a couple of years' time, they say, right, here's your upgraded chipset for Steam.
Yeah, I think the chipset. I think the chipset is built into an entire board, but yeah, I guess you'd have to replace that board. But already people have done loads of funky stuff with it. Again, that chip is unmatchable at the moment. No one can seem to match it, so it's kind of very good. I suspect there's a lot of software tricks that go into it as well, but I don't know enough about these things.
Yeah, I guess they don't have to be running at like 4K resolution and stuff if they're on.
Well, that's the thing. That's what they did because it's a small screen.
Is it dockable, like a switch to the TV?
It's got a dock, yeah, and you can dock it, and then some people say you can use it as a kind of your own kind of personal computer as well. Yeah, but you can dock it onto a bigger screen. That's not a problem. Again, I don't think it pumps out more than 720. I think, but the Switch doesn't either, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Cool. Looks interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I've been very impressed with it. I only use it portable. It lives in my sofa, and I just get it out and play it. In fairness, at the moment I'm playing through Hollow Knight. Anyone ever played Hollow Knight?
Yeah, you mentioned that last time.
Yeah, I did. It's a Metroidvania, but it's kind of one of the most popular. It's maybe an Australian company, Team Cherry. It's really, really good. I could never really get into the Metroid games, the early Metroid games. They annoyed me a little bit too much in that there was. I don't know if you've ever played them, but you can't progress unless you know where you need to go. As in, you walk into a room, it's really hard as it is, which Hollow Knight is as well, to get somewhere. You spend ages to get down this area, think there must be something good at the end of it. You get to the end of it, there's nothing there, and you're like, oh, that's a nightmare. And you play this for a while, and eventually you go, I'm going to have to just bloody Google it. You Google it, and it turns out, that room that looked like every other room, if you happen to plant a bomb in this one little area, corner of it, it blows up that wall you can go through. But there's nothing to show you that, no way of knowing that. You just have to go around planting bombs everywhere. It's just like, oh, that's just annoying. Whereas this actually, like, if you look closely, you can see that is something that you should hit to go through. And there's a lot less of that. There is some element to it, but you can kind of crack on without having to find these kind of like stupidly just hidden, have to know about it stuff. Like I've done fine, I've done no Googling, and I got to the final boss I'm aware of.
Yeah, I can actually get it on the Game Pass for the Xbox. So.
It's really good. I recommend it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to waste 30 hours of your life.
Well, can't really complain, can I? I wasted like more than that on cleaning stuff. So.
That's it. The hardest. So the nature of it is just going around exploring. You got to keep exploring and doing other bits. The bit I found most frustrating was even though it's kind of open world, you're limited to where you can get to, sometimes by your abilities. Like you need like a double jump to get up high, or you need to be able to do like a wall jump to be able to get to like a certain bit, or you need other abilities to get through these other unlocked bits. So sometimes I'd say after I'd defeated the second boss, I had this period of at least 10 hours where I was going down, trying to explore to find the next bit, and I would go down these really hard platforming. It's got really good platforming as well. So if you like platforming, it's got really good platforming built into it, which is why I like it more than the Metroid ones. It's got much better platforming than Metroid. But it's got really hard platforming bits. You're like, and it takes you ages to do it. You finally get through it. You're like, oh, I've absolutely smashed it. Yes. And then you come across like a hard wall, which is like, I can see what I need. I need a double jump to get through that, or I need a wall grab, or I need something that lets me go through this gate, and I don't have it yet. And I spent 10 hours going down different tracks. Just bad luck of just like picking the wrong bit to go down. Eventually, I picked one that took me down the right path. So that was a bit that there's a few hours of that bit. I was like, this is actually really annoying. But if you get the first kind of 10 hours is fine. The middle 10 hours, I don't know, maybe not 10 hours. The first 3 or 4 hours is fine, and then there's a period where I just got unlucky. I think you could easily have stumbled across a much better path quicker than me. I would say once you defeated the second boss, it's worth a Google. Ask me if you get stuck, just because it's not. You gain nothing by going around. I mean, I guess if you can remember where things are, and then there's times when I've then got the new stuff and gone back to those places and found stuff I really needed. So maybe I did get a benefit from it, but I would say it was more painful than than it was beneficial.
I will check it out.
It is really, really good. Once you get a couple more abilities and you're not kind of locked out of every kind of avenue that you go down, it starts getting much better. Really, really good, in fact.
The other one I played, and you might be able to get this actually, Lewis, on your Steam Deck, is Vampire Survivors. And this is kind of old, like this comes across old school 16-bit kind of characteristics, and it's kind of top-down shooter that constantly shoots.
Is that when there's tons and tons of people come flying at you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I've seen that. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of top-down, like Project R or J, I can't remember now, where you got the shooter and you're just shooting everything that's coming towards you. This is all around you, so you start off as like a basic character, and it's got one weapon, and like the first one's like a whip, and that only goes in front of them. And then little things like little bats come out, and you hit them, and they drop gems, and the more gems you pick up, you like level up, and then every time you get to next level, you can upgrade, either get a new weapon or upgrade a weapon you've already got, and they get bigger and better. And then as you start progressing through, I mean, I had to learn this on the fly. It doesn't explain everything to you, but then as you start going through the levels, more and more bosses come, more and more enemies come out, and I mean, literally, sometimes the screen is full, and like your weapons should be so great that you could stand there at some point and just be destroying everything coming around you until the computer says, no, you're finding this too easy. There's a ton more harder enemies coming in, and then you can, like, if you get certain combination of weapons together and level those fully up, they evolve into one big weapon, and it's just ridiculously like overpowered. I think the highest I've reached so far is level 100 and something, and it was like nothing could stop me until it got to a point where actually no, stuff is breaking through now and like wounding me. And as you start working through, there's like things to do. You start discovering stuff that I thought the maps were kind of like a looping map, but then actually no, it's actually a really vast map that's just the same kind of tile image, but there's stuff all around. And if you at some point you like find a book which then guides you to items on the map, so if you start heading towards there, you'll find other characters that you unlock, or you'll find other weapons that you haven't discovered yet. And it's actually really, it's one of those, and again, it's another a game that you could just waste hours on, because I'll play this for 10 minutes, and then you look at your what? Yeah, you look at your what? 2 hours have gone. Yeah. Yeah. And then you start, right, so what weapons do I need to evolve to get this space that I can't see yet? So and then you start looking on the internet and finding out what do I need to evolve together, and then work towards that. And it's just great fun. Again, that's on Xbox Game Pass for free. Well, it's not free because you pay for it monthly, but you can get it like that, or I believe it's on Steam.
It is on Steam. I'm looking at it, and it's verified on the Steam Deck as well.
But yeah, waste half an hour quite easily on it, and there's so much to do. You think there's not much to do at first, but You play the first level, and it's like, okay, that's good. I'll have another go. And then it's like, oh, okay, now I'm into this. Now what do I need to do? Once you get garlic and you upgrade garlic, nothing really can get through, really. But yeah,
garlic and vampire, isn't it?
Yep. But yeah, so yeah, Vampire Survivors, it's called. Really fun.
That sounds very good. I tell you, more on the board game route. When I first got my Steam Deck, the first game I bought was Civilization 6.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely love Civilization. Smashed through a campaign in like a couple of days. Absolutely love that game. So good. Smashed out a classic science victory. You know how it is. Everyone loves a classic science victory. Can't go wrong. I really like Civ 6 actually. It's quite good, quite a good, well balanced one. I haven't really played the Civ since 4.
No, I think I played like Civ 2 in the early days. Then I played.
I played Civ 1 when it first came out. Like I remember having it on floppy disk. Genuine, yeah, multiple floppy disks as well.
Old school, nice.
Yeah. Some kids would be going, "What's a floppy disk?"
The 3 games that define my childhood of computer games are Civ, Dune 2, and SimCity 2000. SimCity 2000 was a bit later.
Yeah, I can relate to SimCity 2000. See, I'm more.
Yeah. I can still remember the cheat code that guarantees you $5 million. One tips Gazzardo.
I can remember my sister was off because she broke her foot. She was off school and she played SimCity 2000 for age, but she couldn't handle the disaster. She hated them, but she made this like epic city. It was almost the entire whole thing was covered. This huge population. It was absolutely amazing. And I, as the awful little brother, went onto her thing and turned disasters on. And she was furious. There was plane crashes, aliens coming down, and she was what a little bastard.
Looks back in and just sees a flaming ruin.
That's exactly what happened. Well, no, it wasn't like I just let a couple of disasters happen and then saved it and then let her come back and discover it. And there was things on fire. There's everything. She was furious. If you got really far in that game, do you remember you used to get those like entire cities in a building with like a little dome on top with trees and things like that?
Yeah.
I forgot what they were called.
They were called arcologies.
Yes, that was it. Yeah. Oh, God, that game was really
like 4
good.
or 5 designs, didn't you? And it was always epic. That was great.
Like most computer games I had in that day, we had a bootleg copy from a friend on our floppy disks, and so we didn't have the manual. And for absolutely ages, we couldn't work out how to build power plants. Because I don't remember if anyone can remember, but it just had like a power line. If you clicked on it, it just had a power line. You made power lines. You had to like either click and hold or right click on it to bring up a list of power plants. I think you have to press and hold. Because we just tried absolutely everything, could not work out how to get power plants, and then one day I just accidentally discovered it. I think we had it for about 2 or 3 months before, in which I spent many hours trying to play the game without being able to build power plants before I finally worked it out. Oh, that was the days.
I remember playing Civ Revolution, Xbox 360.
Yes.
That was a great Civ game.
That's good mobile. Yeah, I really like that. That was a really nice little condensed Civ. I had that on the iPod Touch. I played that when I was in Italy because I played it when I was in Italy.
iPod Touch
over there. Yeah, that's right.
Brilliant. What's the other one?
I played it on that. A really good game.
Populous.
I love Civ.
Do you remember playing Populous?
Yeah, never as good. I could never really get into it. Like it just never seemed to flow well. Populous for me. I tried to play it quite a few times.
There was Populous at the beginning. I used to love playing that.
Yeah.
But
it's no Civ though, was it?
No, well, it's different because you could. Yeah.
The only grand strategy game I've ever come across, that could compare to Civ or even compete with the Total War series.
Oh yeah.
And that's just because you had to play the battles, and it was so good. Rome Total War was an absolute masterpiece. Don't care what anyone says about it. Absolutely amazing. I mean, and again, I've been playing Shogun Total War, the original, when I was, gosh, I couldn't have been more than 13 or 14, I think.
Right.
How old would I have been? Can't remember. I played a lot of computer games as a kid, and then I went through like a phase, but from like probably 15, 16 until like almost now.
Yeah.
That way, I just didn't really play many computer games at all. Like maybe a bit of COD at uni, but that was it really. But getting back into them now. Oh yeah. Oh, and Counter-Strike, of course, the other game I used to play massively as a kid. The original Counter-Strike, that was a free mod for Half-Life that you had to download and put into the game files and whatnot. It didn't cost you any money. It wasn't a separate game.
No.
So you couldn't buy it on Steam. That was amazing.
I didn't play any of these things. I was always playing point-and-click adventure games. My time. Day of the Tentacle. Classic.
But I think is that like Monkey Island and all that?
Yeah, those ones.
And there was like the king, the princess, or something with the there was like dwarves and things. You ever play that one? What was that one? Princess King.
Princess.
Or the Princess Island. There was like a quite famous one, and I just my issue is that again it's the same problem I have with Metroid games from that era that had non-logical solving puzzles, and they all had that.
Yeah. Sometimes
so
you get
Myst,
some of those.
yeah. So Myst I loved because there was always a logical way of solving the puzzle, and you could always work it out. Whereas some of those point and clicks, you literally just had to randomly do everything, and then eventually one of them worked, and there was no rhyme or reason to them. It was just like really obscure. Like so they always annoyed me in general. It's the same reason. Like I said, it was. But yeah, I loved Myst though.
That's a classic, isn't it?
So good.
Classic for a reason.
So is our Demio on the VR dead? Demio game on the VR dead?
Well, so the main issue with it was that obviously someone couldn't do it for a couple of weeks, and then now Josh works at McDonald's, and he works every Sunday now. So that's why it's not looking great. We could just carry on without him.
We could.
We might have to
get Sam in on it.
Oh yeah, tag Sam in
if he can find his headset.
Have you got an Oculus now, Sam?
Yeah.
He had one the same time as you.
I had one before Joe.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we played Beat Saber. You thrashed me at Beat Saber.
Oh yeah. What? I'm playing your Beat. Oh, I remember you getting out. Oh, of course.
I was like, screw this, and then didn't log in for about 6 months.
I didn't beat you that badly. I wasn't that good myself. I'll get trashed by the kids.
I'll give you a run for your money now, though. I've been practicing.
I've been practicing
you would
too.
Beat me.
I'm on expert level on everything now.
Oh yeah, I can smash expert. It's just super expert that I can only do a couple on.
Some of those are just ridiculous, though.
They're just insane. I can't think that fast, but my nephew, he can every single song he can do super expert. Like he just does it.
The rhythm I found is like it's as long as you know the rhythm, you don't even have to see the arrows pointing on the blocks.
No.
You just know that if you've gone down,
if you've gone up, you're going down.
It's going to have to be up the next time. So
yeah. So you start moving your arms less as well. Gets you less points, but it's how you get through the fast ones.
Yeah.
It's when you've got your left arm going up and down at a certain pace, and then you've got to do your right hand at a really quickest pace, and try not to move your left hand at the same pace. Yeah. It's just like.
And there's those new ones now, which I went on there before, where you've got to like follow the path of it as well.
Yeah,
I thought that was quite a cool addition.
I'm pretty sure that because there was a big update. I think they've updated other songs to incorporate that, because I've been playing some proper songs by proper artists, and I'm pretty sure this wasn't in here before, so I think they've updated it to incorporate new stuff they're brought.
Yeah, I've got the sort of dev version, so I can install my own songs, but I need to update it all because it's been whinging at me for like a year and a half.
Yeah, I've got that. But you can download the custom ones from the internet.
I nearly sold mine this year after getting it.
Well, your headset?
Yeah.
Oh, because it went up in price by $100.
Well, no, I just I brought it after that, so I would have made a loss.
Yeah.
But I just kind of I don't know if I really enjoy this anymore, because I think I played a game, I got so motion sick with it that it lasted like a day, and I was just why I can't do this.
I tried. There's like a pool game that they sort of like a beta sort of thing. There was like a 8-ball pool, like pub pool.
Yeah,
game, and that made me feel so sick that I had to just sit down with the lights off for about half an hour. It was just I felt really sick.
Yeah, you've got to be a bit careful with some of those betas, and some of those used to be on SideQuest. I don't know if you ever did that. It's SideQuest is now kind of incorporated into it, into the actual bit, but kind of the operating system. But before, you used to have to do SideQuest on your laptop and then plug your headset in and then download it to the headset and then play it that way. And most of them were absolutely fine, but the odd one you'd come across were absolutely terrible. But most of the ones you get on the store now have all been checked, and they've all got massive warnings if they're that bad. But the issue I've got, and the reason I've stopped playing it, is the lenses in the headsets are really hit and miss. So the first one I had was one of the first edition ones, and that had like big blobs of glue at the side of its lenses. So they sent me a new one. They replaced it, fair play, and that gave like funny vision bits. So they replaced it. The next one I had literally the most perfect lenses. They were so good, so good. But the battery wouldn't last more than like 45-50 minutes. The battery was completely screwed on it. So they sent me a new one. The latest one I got now is the one I got now. It's absolutely fine battery-wise, and to look at the lenses, you can't see any problems. But when you're wearing it, the left-hand image at the very, very edge of the left of the screen it's got this like, maybe it's only like 2 millimeters of blur. Like, it's really not very much at all. Like, it's a tiny amount, and it wouldn't normally affect you. But my eyes, I'm really left eye dominant, and my right eye is actually, I need to wear glasses in my right eye, but I don't need to wear glasses because my left eye dominates. But because that bit of furriness is just in the left part of the vision, and I mostly play golf, and when you play mini golf, you've got to draw a line with your eyes. You don't move your head, you kind of draw a line with your eyes from the ball to the hole. And every time I do it, it goes blurry. And then because my right eye isn't very good, I get this kind of, it's been making me giving me headaches and stuff. But I've just got some glasses now, so I was going to give it another go. But yeah, that's my story about. I've put many hours into that headset though, a lot of hours. Population 1 was the game I probably played the most of. I got pretty good at that.
See, I've not gone through that way, because I kind of feel like, will that give me motion sickness? So I was just like, I'll stick to Beat Saber and Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip is amazing, especially on your thighs after you've like ducked 100 times, and then you get up in the morning. It's like, oh my goodness, it feels like I've just been through a session of Pilates kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think the thing about Population 1, it doesn't make you feel that sick. So there's kind of two different. I've noticed there are kind of two different kind of ways in which games can affect you. Three. One, not at all. Two is they can make you feel a little bit. Like when you go to those big 3D cinemas that used to go around on like roller coasters, and you'd feel a bit like you're falling backwards and things like that. Mm-hmm. So the games that can do that, which isn't true motion sickness, just makes you feel a little bit giddy, but doesn't make you feel sick or unwell. And that's only for a little bit when you first start playing it. And then there's the other ones that just make you feel horrendously sick, and it's different. So Population 1, because you can fly, climb, free movement, and you move with a joystick as opposed to jumping around and your legs, you do feel a little bit like you're in that kind of roller coaster in the cinema, but it dies off after you've played it for a little bit. Whereas the motion sickness ones actually have nothing to do with necessarily how the game is played. Like that pool one, you probably didn't move around much at all, but it can make you feel quite sick, and it's actually to do with frame rate. That if they don't have a high enough frame rate, then it jars in your eyes. So it kind of like, it's like chunking you around basically, but you can't always see it. Sometimes it seems relatively smooth, but it's chunking you around, and that's what makes you feel really, really sick. With that, I've noticed.
Okay. Well, not been bothered, and not even Isaac's not even wanted it. The reason I've kind of now kept it is because he uses it most, now. Isaac does, and he's been playing this gorilla tag, which makes you use your arms like you're running along the floor with them. So he's doing this motion like he's skiing all the time. And after he's done like half an hour of that, he come off in buckets of sweat. And then he goes off and has a sleep because he's so knackered. So I was like, well, if he's getting a workout from that, then I'm keeping it. Because,
Yeah, so that was an original side quest game. It sounds like it's on the quest now, on the native on the store. But it used to be one that you had to download. I remember when it came out. Yeah, that's a good
No, I think
game.
it is still side quest. Because I remember having to use it through it. Yeah,
but side quest is now integrated into the store. They took them on board rather than fight them. They keep fighting them. They kind of brought them into the fold, but you didn't have to plug things in and whatnot. So you don't have to do that anymore. It's built into the actual Quest software now. Awesome. I'm going to get back into it, I think. So for me, I mainly play golf with it, and when I do it, I play it with family and friends. To kind of catch up with them. So like my dad lives miles away, and my mum's now.
I offered you up for a golf session, and you didn't even reply.
So I'm about to get back into it and start doing that because, like I said, I was having problems. Listen, I got my glasses on Friday, and I'm going to start playing my headset again now. I couldn't play it without the glasses because, as I say, because it divides your eyes up so much. It was really starting to affect me and give me that headache because my eyes were getting worse, and because it's just my right eye and my left eye couldn't just kind of dominate because you see two different images.
Yeah, I see. Never mind.
So now I'm going to get my glasses and see if that makes it any better.
Are you just playing that walkabout golf, or are you playing other golf?
I've got walkabout mini golf. I've got another one that's like a full course one, which wasn't that great. But I want to get the other Golf Plus one. Will be the next one to try.
There is a golf course sort of simulator one, which is actually quite good. It's not strictly that accurate, but it's I can't remember what it's called now.
Is that the one with like the bloke going when he's on the front?
No, I don't think so.
Are you talking about Golf Plus? Because Golf Plus only just got, well, I say only just, probably about 6-12 months ago now, got a full course added. It used to just be a driving range and mini golf.
Let me see.
And that's why we got the other one, because Golf Plus didn't have a full course when we were...
Just logging into my Quest app so I can see what I've actually got.
There's a few good golf games, in fairness. The problem with the one that we've got is the ball, the physics on the physics for full swing is really, really good and down the green and down the fairways, but on the actual greens, it is absolutely ridiculous. Like you tap it and it fizzes to the other side of the green. Like it's just the greens are so fast. It was just ridiculous. You couldn't play it.
Yeah, it's Golf Plus. Yeah, I think it's Golf.
Yeah,
Plus.
Golf Plus. Yeah, that's probably the best one. It's only recently had a full course, full swing golf kind of added to it. Yeah. Well, that's not true. It had full swing because it had driving range, but it had full course to it. It used to just be mini golf. Walkabout mini golf is better.
I picked up that table tennis. Yeah, table tennis game because it was cheap.
So it's really good. My nephew's got that.
And I went into a game against someone, and it's really weird playing because you hit the ball back, and it looks like it bounces off the table, and you go, "Yes, I've scored!" And then suddenly, mate, he swings, and it comes bouncing back towards you. It's like, oh, so he did hit it.
You got really bad lag.
It's really bad lag. So it's just like, no, I'm not. Hit it back. So it's a bit delayed in it, but I don't know if that's like it all the time or it was just.
No, I think that's your connection. I think it must be.
I might need to sort that out then. But because I got that. That was all right.
Moss is really good, and if you ever played the Moss games,
I saw that. Yeah.
But I like platforming, so
yeah. See, when I go on it now, I'm a bit. I just like I'll just do Beat Sabre and Pistol Whip and get my exercise up, and then I'm pretty much done afterwards.
You're talking about your son getting sweaty. That's what I use Beat Sabre for mainly. I'll play like an hour and a half, and I'm coming off and I'm feeling dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I've got like 3 face thingy bobs and some cloth things that you can put over the top just to stop it from getting too wet. It's just gross, really. But I wouldn't recommend anyone play with my Oculus Quest now.
Did you not get the plastic cover sent through?
Yeah, I got that. But before that, I had these 2 kind of like sweatband kind of covers that you could put over it as well.
Oh, that plastic thing comes with it now. So
Well, because the foam is not safe for skin contact. cancer causing. It's gonna like, oh guys, it's not a problem, but just don't touch the foam. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's literally fine, but don't touch the foam. That's fine. Just put this thing over the top of it and never touch the foam. It is fine, but don't touch it. Yeah.
Well, once you're back on it, then we should get some games in.
Yeah. Well, exactly. We'll get some games in this week. I'm off all this week. Let's play.
I'm not.
Oh.
The weekend I'm off.
So the other big issue with it is it's not multiplayer. So the reason that the big increase in kind of computer games and computer game consoles is like the reason the Switch is so popular is out of the box you can play 2-player, and then for only a little bit extra you can play 4-player, all in the same room, all enjoying those kind of games. Whereas the Switch,
I think Lewis meant VR here.
It's hard just to get someone to be able to see what you're doing, let alone playing multiplayer. And you think it's quite expensive for one, but if you've got 2 kids and they want to play at the same time and will play together, well, you've got to pay what you're talking £700, aren't you? Plus.
Well, I've got a Chrome adaptation for the back of the TV, so I can stream to the TV so people can see what someone's doing. I can
stream to the TV, and but it's still a faff, and to the app. But it's still a bit of a faff. But it's more like you want to be playing with your mates, don't you? And then, or if you've got 2 kids, they want to be playing together, but they can't. Or I want to play with my kids and show them this. Come and look at this, but I'd have to buy them each a headset. Like, it's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Whereas I can go and play on the Switch with Reese for no extra money.
Yeah. But then
that's the other time.
I don't know. That became the same as with the console. Got Isaac a PlayStation 4, and then Caitlin wanted her own PlayStation 4 because they would fight over playing Fortnite. So then we had to get Caitlin a PlayStation 4, so they didn't fight. And then I was just like, well, once we move house and the PlayStation 4 goes up in Isaac's room, what have I got to play now? I've got into playing it. So then I had to buy myself an Xbox, and so yeah. So it did get expensive like that.
I don't think you're a good example to this job.
Why not?
I don't know many households who would have 3 PlayStations.
We got
and an Xbox.
We got 3 PlayStations, 2 Xboxes. Well, 3 Xboxes.
What? So yeah, Joe, you are not an example that proves an average household.
Yeah, it's more than
plus an inexhaustible Kickstarter habit.
Yeah, exactly.
VR headset.
We're gonna have to get you some treatment, Joel.
Yeah, intervention time.
Yeah. You're only allowed 1 of each console, Joel. That's the new rule.
Well, the thing is
but I've got 3 TVs.
Yeah,
we're
that's
going to talk about that, but one step at a time, Joel.
The thing is, what happened? Well, we got Isaac and Caitlin had their own PlayStation 4s. I got my Xbox X. Then Caitlin wanted an Xbox because all our friends are on Xbox. So
you gave her your Xbox and got a PlayStation 5?
No, I got her an Xbox S.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then I was going to sell her PlayStation, which I had never got round to doing. And then Isaac wanted the PlayStation 5, so he said, okay, we'll take your PlayStation 4 away, and got him a PlayStation 5. So basically got 2 PlayStation 4s sat downstairs doing all.
I'll have one.
Next to my Xbox X. And so I do need to sell those 2. And
do you know what? Okay, I thought I was frivolous because I've got a Switch and a Steam Deck, which, I mean, they're not quite the same thing at all. But in fairness, we do have 2 games consoles because we have a Nintendo Switch and we have my PlayStation 3 that I got in 2009. So, yeah.
I've still got my my Xbox 360, which I booted up to upload all my game saves onto the cloud.
Wow, that's very good. Well, I right up until before we went to New Zealand, I had my PS2 that I had as well, but I got rid of that because I wasn't doing it anymore. Oh, I tell a lie. I've also got a Game Boy Color and an original grey Game Boy as well. Yeah, got those as well from my childhood. Frivolous. Look at all you can tell I like portable gaming, can't you?
Mm.
I do like portable.
That means you can play on the bog.
Yeah, and I do. Like play on the bog. It's more just like because I recently, my brother-in-law gave me a PC that is, I mean, it's not brand new. It's quite a few years old, but it won't play AAA games, but it'll play a fair few. Okay, it'll play Civ, for example. I could do it, and I used to go to my study, turn my computer on, play it, and it's just most of the time it gets to the point where I can't be bothered because I come in and sit down on the sofa and I kind of watch TV. But since I've had my Steam Deck, I would sit there, start watching TV, and go, "Oh, I could have a game, couldn't I?" And I just grab it out, and it's just so much easier when it's just there to grab, and you sit more comfy in the sofa, and it's just a win. Play it in bed, play it on the bog, much better. Yeah, I like it.
I was saying it for laughs, but turns out it's true.
What's that?
That you play it on the bog.
Oh right, no, completely true. I'll play it anywhere and anywhere.
Does anyone watch any good movies?
I mean, yeah.
At the cinema or just in general?
Anywhere. Any good movies this year?
I think I've only watched one thing at the cinema this year, which was the Thor: Love and Thunder, which was alright.
Yeah, we didn't actually watch that one.
We watched it, but waited until it came onto Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was kind of.
I got
Disney.
Plus.
The tone was a little bit off for me. It felt like it went too far.
It wasn't as good as Ragnarok, I don't think.
No,
yeah, Ragnarok did that. Treaded the line really nicely.
Yeah.
I think the only one I saw in cinema this year was Top Gun Maverick.
I still not seen it.
Yes, I saw Top Gun Maverick this year, and it was brilliant.
Yeah, it's better than the original, quite frankly.
Okay, whoa. Okay,
in terms of how the movie
you've gone too far, Sam. I was just about to say I was going in thinking how shit it was going to be. I thought it was going to be absolutely terrible, but it was actually really, really good, and I loved every minute of it.
I mean, the cinematography was just incredible. The movie making
and the original is embarrassing. I think you need to immediately withdraw that comment.
Absolutely not. I stand by it because
talk about offending people. I mean, you've just committed
I've offended. What? I'm sorry.
Holy grail of.
I mean, yeah. I think there's an awful lot of nostalgia around the first one, and it is a great movie. I love it, but it's a nostalgia kick comparatively.
I didn't see any men semi-naked, covered in oil, playing beach volleyball in the second one.
I mean,
they sort of played a sort of weird rugby thing on the beach, which wasn't nowhere near the same.
Yeah. I mean, I'm conscious of the last episode. The cinema, the thing that stood out for me in Maverick though was the camera work from the things the crew actually went through to get the shots they got in terms of in plane cinematography was just incredible. The fact that you could sort of see the G-forces acting on the faces of the pilots, or the actors playing the pilots, it's just incredible. The scenes in that film were just really, really, really top draw.
I haven't seen it.
It was a very good film.
Yeah, I'll get to.
It was
really good. Is anyone going to see the new Avatar?
I will.
That comes out very soon, isn't it?
I'm not excited by it.
The first one was fine, but I didn't get that
terribly excited by the first one.
No.
When I watched it, I was just like, I actually really enjoyed it, and I think it will be the same for this. It will be like, I feel like it feels like an event movie. I need to go and see it, but I won't see it in friggin' 3D. I guarantee that.
Oh, that was the first Avatar. I think it was the first film I saw in 3D. So basically, it meant I could see the person in the middle of the screen, but everything else was blurry.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
That's what 3D was, and they slightly popped out. It's just like.
And the worst thing is, you watch it at home, unless you buy a 3D TV, which was a fad that lasted all of about 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Unless you buy a 3D TV, you now watch Avatar and any film that was made with 3D in mind, and you can see the shots where they had 3D, and it's just like these weird leaping slow mos, and it's just like, and it's just so obviously crap in 2D that it's just affected the movie. So that's the thing that will annoy me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I mean, James Cameron is an incredible filmmaker, so I will happily watch.
I think it'd be interesting.
The only other one I saw this year that I really, really enjoyed was 13 Lives. Did anyone see that?
No.
It's on Amazon, I think. It's Ron Howard directed it. It's Viggo Mortensen. Is one of the actors. I can't remember who the other one is.
Colin Farrell.
Who's the Irish guy?
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, Colin Farrell. They play the two British guys that helped save which country was it in? Was it Indonesia? Or was it Thailand? Was it Thailand? Oh, cruds! I can't remember where it was now.
Oh, the cave rescue.
The football team that got
the cave.
Cave system.
Yeah.
Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Thailand.
That's it.
And these two British guys sort of like got flown out there, invited themselves out there effectively to go and say we can help. And the Thai government were obviously all very no, we can handle it. And then they lost one of their own guys trying to get in to get these kids out. So they let the Brits have a go. And they managed to map this system, and it's just incredible. I mean, we watched the film 13 Lives, which is really, really good. And then we immediately watched the documentary that it's based on, which I can't remember what that was called now, but the documentary is equally brilliant, if not better. Really, really good.
Wow.
Genuinely brilliant. Highly, highly recommended. It's on Amazon. 13 Lives, the movie, is on Amazon. Really good. Cool. Can't remember about the documentary. That might be on Netflix, I believe. I think it's called The Cave or something like that. Something like that. But yeah, so the documentary's on Netflix, I think, and 13 Lives is on Amazon. Really good. Highly recommended.
Cool. Okay. Yeah,
that's probably my favourite film of the year, quite frankly, actually.
Did anyone see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
What did you think of that?
I think I'm of a generation that can't quite understand it. I think if I watched it in my 20s, I'd be like, this is the most amazing thing since sliced bread. But I'm watching it in my 40s going, this feels like navel-gazing nonsense. So I was like...
That was kind of my reaction as well, actually. Which is it kind of goes against the general opinion, which is that it's the best film of the year.
Yeah.
My daughter absolutely loved it. She thought it was amazing.
But I want to know how much of the amazement is down to just how random it is. Because a lot of it is very, very random, and I don't think it, like the world where they all got hot dog fingers and stuff. I mean, it's just weird. There's no meaning to that.
Very surreal.
It's just
that was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, the one bit of introspection in the movie which I did really enjoy randomly, the one world they were in, was when the mother and the daughter were rocks on top of a cliff.
That was very cool.
That was quite cool.
That was really.
And you think that was a nice conceit, but the rest of it was just a bit too weird.
Too much
for me. Yeah,
I kind of prefer the talk about kind of multiverse stuff. The Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That concept of world jumping, I thought was very well done in that film, and I think I prefer it to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
as a movie, I definitely did. And I think that's mainly because it was kind of grounded more in a cinematic world I was kind of ready for.
True, yeah.
I think maybe it'd be Everything Everywhere All at Once. Maybe I'll enjoy more on a second watch, but I don't know. Didn't enjoy it the first time enough to think I would ever want to watch it again, is the problem.
Okay.
I know my missus gave up halfway through going, I don't know what is going on, I'm done. And I just sat there.
Yeah, Megan was exactly the same, and I've got a feeling that may have coloured my impression of it as well anyway. Maybe if I was watching it on my own, I'd have been a bit more receptive, perhaps. But I was watching her visibly going, what the bloody hell are you making me watch? To be fair, it's about the 5th time this year I've made her watch a film that she's just gone, what the hell? So, I think.
But you know the guy, one of the main characters in the guy in it, Wayman.
Yeah, Keikun Kwak, he's shot round from Temple of Doom.
Oh, isn't he? Yeah.
It's his first movie in about 30 years or something.
Yeah. He did really well as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed
his
characters for that.
Impressive.
Yeah. And I should say as well, I love Michelle Yeoh. She's an awesome.
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah.
And she's a bit like Helen Mirren and things like that, where they get more and more badass and more, quite frankly, attractive the older they seem to get. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I really liked her in Star Trek Discovery. I think she did.
Oh yes, that's where she's from. Yes.
Yeah, she did the first 2 series. As the captain originally.
I think my favourite
universe.
is
pretty good.
Oh, it's the first movie I went to the cinema and watched on my
Crouching
own.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Classic. Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
such a good movie, and she's brilliant in that as well.
I love that film.
She's a very elegant actress. That's what I like about Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah, so that one, not so much. I also saw Uncharted. I don't like that either. That was pretty poor.
That was quite bad.
Wow, did you?
That was pretty poor. It was all right, but it's just nah. It's typical Hollywood.
Trouble is, it's got Mark Wahlberg in it, so it's going to be crap.
It was a bit weird.
Oh dear.
The other talking about movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once. What movies that people said were amazing that I didn't quite get or understand where they were coming from? The Northman. Did anyone see that?
No.
That's the sort of Viking kind of revenge tale film,
right?
From the same guy that did The Lighthouse a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Robert Eggers. Yeah, Robert Eggers. So yeah, this one's like essentially it's a Viking revenge tale. So a kid's a prince of a sort of minor kingdom, gets killed by his brother. His dad gets killed by his uncle, I think, and then he sort of basically swears to get his vengeance one day and all that sort of stuff, and it ends up being his kind of tale of revenge. Elements of it was visually striking, but considering I was told that Empire Magazine were giving it 5 out of 5, most incredible movie, we watched it, and it was another one that Megan was like, nah, about it, and I was just like, yeah, well, I kind of have to agree. It was very well shot, very well made, but at the same time, it just felt like it was probably about 3 hours. I think it was about 3 hours long, and it felt like it was an hour and a half too long. You know, it was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good program I watched on Netflix was Arcane.
That was great.
So that's in the League of Legends world.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the anime.
Cool.
The animation is top notch. The storyline is amazing. It just keeps you hooked all the way through, and it's got one of the best opening theme songs ever. I was just like, that's one of the only programs that I would sit through the whole theme song at the beginning just to listen to it and watch it. I was just like, this is an amazing program. And then it ends, and I was like, they've got to be doing a second season, and they are planning on a second season. But like he said, the producer of it said it took 6 years to make this season, so don't expect one very soon.
It was a brilliant anime though, really really good. Yeah, very good. The other one that I watched this year kind of feels like it's the year of animation, adult animation. Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon.
Oh yeah,
it's the Critical Role series.
All right.
I think they kickstarted it originally, and Amazon picked it up and shot it, and that was really fun. No, art style is much more kind of old school, kind of almost 80s/90s kind of era animation. A lot of it, but it's really really good fun.
Was that a computer game?
It's based on Dungeons and Dragons. It's just Critical Role, the Dungeons and Dragons series.
It's the web series. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. Yes, it's like a spoof, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, it's a kind of
tongue in cheek bit of fun.
I mean, Critical Role play it as a proper thing, but they're kind of all voice actors and hamming it up nicely. In the TV series, it's kind of the same thing where they're kind of poking fun at convention, but it is D&D essentially, telling a D&D story as an animation. It was good fun.
I might watch that. I've got Prime. Did anybody watch the Lord of the Rings series?
No, I was saving that for the all out. Yeah,
I'm about halfway through it. There's just so many series though at the moment. I've it's trying to catch up with them.
Which ones?
We can't say anything then. Lewis.
So many series.
No, I've only watched half it. I watched all of the Game of Thrones.
Sorry, not Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I watched the Game of Thrones one, and that was on at the same time as the Lord of the Rings one. And so I could only watch one. My wife could only cope with one at a time because she kept confusing which series had which people in.
It's not an unfair problem, to be fair.
Well, they're both fantasy series, aren't they?
I really liked it. I really enjoyed
the ones I've watched.
It's had mixed reviews, but I really love it.
Yeah,
It's only
I think out of the two, I think we preferred Rings of Power over House of the Dragon. I think, to be honest,
I've never watched any of the what's it called?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I read all the books before the TV series even came out, and then everyone started.
The first 2, 3, 4 seasons of Game of Thrones were epic, brilliant
like
TV.
the books.
Yeah.
It was just the last couple where they
really
kind of helped. They had to tie it up, and they struggled. I think because they didn't really have.
Well,
books
they didn't have the books to go. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon feels a bit too much like marriage politics for 9 out of the 10 episodes, and then 1 episode of dragons, and that's about it. You know,
the book struggled after the second or third book. Really, I can remember like him saying. I think it was like at the end of. I remember at the end of the third one. It said, "Oh, after this, there's going to be the final book." And then it was so clear he was dragging it out because he basically sort of then released 2 books that happened in the same time frame, but sort of split the story. So you covered a couple of people in the first book, and then a couple of people in the next book, and then it somehow didn't finish. And he brought out another book, and it somehow didn't finish. It was just dragged on and on and on. It sounds like that's what we did in the TV program as well. I didn't ever watch the TV program, but I got bored.
The Game of Thrones, the TV show, clipped along quite nicely until it got to that stage where they had to start tying it up, and then it felt like it almost like they were going too quickly at points because they were trying to get to the point where they could start wrapping things up. It was still very good. I'd still recommend watching it. But yeah, House of the Dragon I was less enamored with. It was good.
It was alright, wasn't it? But yeah.
So House of the Dragon is the prequel. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, the sort of origin of the downfall of House Targaryen, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And yeah, basically 8 episodes of it is them teaching you that marriage politics in medieval times was complicated, and then the final episodes are kind of it all going to hell. And that's it. So it was fine, but not quite what I was expecting.
But the Rings of Power I really enjoyed.
I liked it.
Looking forward to finishing it.
Yeah, I was quite impressed.
We're trying to finish Umbrella Academy season 3 before we get back to that. Love
again,
that.
another one I'm waiting. Got to get around to doing again.
Yeah,
Umbrella Academy is good fun.
I think I disproportionately liked the Rings of Power because there's a kind of a YouTube channel like In Deep Geek. I don't know if anyone's come across that. Like talks about, I think it talks about Game of Thrones as well, but it mainly talks about Lord of the Rings, and it talks about the kind of in-depth lore of like who is this and why is that, and who connects, and it's got these videos on it. This guy just kind of does these little mini essays, but fair play to him. But he was doing some sort of live ones as the Rings of Power was coming out, trying to guess who all the characters were, like and where they were, and he absolutely stacked a couple, and I was like, no, it's definitely this. Like, what's he talking about? Like, he's completely lost the plot here. And then I turned out to be right, so it made me feel like a super geek. So I think I like the Rings of Power disproportionately more because I guess the characters were better than he did.
That's very cool. Has anyone started watching the Wednesday series, the
no
Addams Family type spin-off?
No, that looks
very good.
Yeah, I've never been a big Addams Family person, so
it's if you like Addams Family, it's really really good, and it's Tim Burton producing.
Oh,
so
I do like Tim Burton
style. It's really his style. It's really quite dark.
It's Netflix, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But
got Prime
if you have
Disney.
it, it's well worth watching. It's really good.
I was, as a point of interest, I was going to switch to Netflix and stop Disney when my Disney came to the end this year because we don't really use Disney that much. And I thought, oh, well, that's good. Time to switch. Let's have Netflix. But when you go onto Netflix, all the other streaming services, because I've got a big 65-inch OLED UHD TV, so I need at least HD streaming, if not UHD, because otherwise, if you watch standard definition on it, it's horrendous. But there's no problem because all the others just give that to you as standard. They normally give you UHD as standard. You go onto Netflix. If you want to get UHD, you have to get like the most expensive subscription, which makes it cost like more than Prime and Disney Plus combined.
Wow.
And it's like, no, obviously I'm not going to do that. You absolutely whichever Muppet has come up with that pricing plan is an idiot. Like, because I'm just not going to pay it. Like, no wonder you're losing customers. Like, it's because you're idiots. Like, your value is horrendous. Anyway,
it's going down in my estimation. Netflix. There's just not quite enough good stuff on there. To warrant the price at the moment.
Yeah. No, they're all bloated, but again, I'd rather take 2 bloated ones than one.
But Disney Plus, I think, has got probably the best selection at the moment.
Well, you got another one now. You got
Marvel and Star Wars.
We just finished watching. I finished watching it for the second time this year because it's that good. Is a show on Disney called Light and Magic, which is like the origin and history of Industrial Light and Magic, the effects company.
Oh, cool, right.
Really, really good. I've watched it twice now, and I'll watch it a third time. It's that good. I love it.
What a documentary is it?
It's a documentary series. Yeah, it's only like 6 episodes, so it's like 6 hours in total.
Yeah.
But it is genuinely brilliant from the start of George Lucas basically setting it up for the creation of Star Wars, for doing the effects of Star Wars, all the way through to now on shows like The Mandalorian and how they do it, and the technology that goes into it, and the ground they're pushing in terms of trying to get the best possible effects and things is really, really, really good. But it's all about it's not just about the technology. It's a lot of it is about the humans, the people that are behind it, and the people doing the effects and crafting the effects. So one of the classic stories is from Jurassic Park. They were going to do it all stop motion animation with a guy called Phil Tippett, who did all of like the walkers in Empire Strikes Back and that kind of stuff. RoboCop and that kind of thing. So he was going to do all the dinosaurs via stop motion, and Stan Winston was going to do all the giant models and stuff and animatronics. It was all going to be physical effects. And then 2 of the guys that were doing early CGI in ILM just went, we can do a dinosaur. Surely we can do a dinosaur. And they basically spent all their evenings like trying to get this walking T-Rex working, and then sort of like ambushed the whole process by sort of having it on a screen when one of the producers was walking by to check on some effects at the model shop. And they went, what's that? So they were like, that looks promising. So it ended up going, yeah, okay, we're doing all CG then. And so, yeah, the model shop basically just went, oh crap, we're out of a job. In fact, my favourite bit of it is Phil Tippett, who's the main animator, stop motion animator. Steven Spielberg, he said Steven Spielberg came up to him, and because he was very conscious of the fact that the decision to go CG had sort of like affected his career, basically. He was like, probably got no job now because this is the start of the end for him. And Steven Spielberg goes, how do you feel about this? And Phil Tippett said, I think I'm extinct. And he goes, that's brilliant, that's going in the movie. And it is. So it's I can't remember which part of the movie it's in, but he does put in I think I've just been made extinct or something is one of the quotes in the movie. So that came from Phil Tippett in ILM when he realised he was basically out of a job.
Oh no.
So good.
But yeah, it was a really good series. Light and Magic, really good. Highly recommend.
Oh, we'll check that out. See, my problem is like, the wife's gone to bed like 9 o'clock or 9:30. I could sit down, I could watch a program that I'd be meaning to watch, or I could spend the next couple of hours cleaning a boat. I'll go and clean a boat.
Pressure washing.
Don't know what's wrong with me. Something completely wrong with me.
Yeah. But that said, I've still not watched the last episode of Andor, so I can't talk.
Oh, it's so good.
I haven't started it. I've just got through.
Star Wars has been.
Yeah, we can't do any spoilers because John hasn't watched any of it at all.
Yeah, no, it is the best Star Wars has been since Rogue One.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've just got through the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, good. Well done. Congratulations, you've got through it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. But
I enjoyed it.
Oh, it's diabolical garbage.
No.
The script is not.
It is shonky. I mean, when you get Boba Fett being lobbed on the floor, slimy, covered in his wide pants, that's the lowest point in Star Wars history, right there. That was just awful. The effects were lazy. I mean, it was terrible. Tamara Morrison as Boba Fett was the worst. Just the worst acting I've seen in Star Wars.
Really? Even compared to Luke in the New Hope. For goodness sake.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's horrendous. You whiny Luke. C-3PO, where can he be? Oh,
he's a teenager. He's allowed to be whiny.
Okay.
This is supposed to be the most badass bounty hunter in the universe, and he's getting lobbed on the floor in his white pants. I mean, what? It's just dreadful. It was terrible.
What did you think of the? Did you watch the Kenobi series?
Yeah.
I got bored with that.
Yeah. It felt like it was overlong. They could have done that in half the time.
Well, bizarrely, I really liked the slow pace of the beginning in the exploring Obi-Wan's isolation on Tatooine.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that bit. Yeah.
And then, and I quite liked the bit with the young Princess Leia, but then it went a bit. Kind of decided that they wanted to do it in double time, and then zip through the storyline to the end.
I did like the kind of redemption of Hayden Christensen, the actor, as part of the process. That was quite nice. Although they didn't de-age him at all, which they probably should have done.
Didn't bother. I think they did actually, and it just didn't work all that well.
Yeah.
Because I watched the making of one.
Yeah, I think you're right. They did try and de-age him, but it was probably a bit of a mammoth task because they didn't have much to go on.
20 years or so.
And Andor is way better than both of those combined.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to that.
It's better than The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's decent, but Andor is better than Mandalorian.
Well, what I did love about Book of Boba Fett...
Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Behave.
Absolutely.
What I did like about Book of Boba Fett is it turned into the Mandalorian show for a bit, because it was just like two or three episodes of Mandalorian.
The best episode of Boba Fett was the one episode where Boba Fett wasn't in it because it was the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
that was the best episode of the whole thing.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's good. I finally got around to watching Strange New World as well, the new Star Trek one.
I've heard that's good, but
I got a 7-day free trial of Paramount Plus, where I managed to watch the whole of Strange New World and the whole of Discovery season 4 in that 7 days, which was intense watching. But Strange New World was brilliant, really good.
I think on Xbox on the Xbox Game Pass I can get 30 days of that. So I'm saving that.
If you've got Sky TV, I think you get it free as well, don't you? I think Paramount.
No. Oh, you do if you've got Cinema, Sky Cinema or something like that.
Right.
Which is another option.
And I can't. So, I've got Sky Cinema, but on Virgin, so I suspect that doesn't count.
Don't know. Probably not.
There's no Picard, though, is it?
There's no Picard, no.
Oh wait, do you guys like
Pike
Picard?
And the previous? I enjoyed season 2 actually.
I liked season 1 of Picard, but I didn't take to season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I preferred season 1, but I still enjoyed season 2.
My problem is they just they kind of go, we need to wheel out more and more of the old cast because that's what people like. It's just feels like too much fan service.
Well, that's what season 3 is going to be entirely.
I don't care. I loved it all.
Yeah.
I loved it all.
Especially when you realise that actually in their old age, they're nowhere near as good acters. Yeah. You used to think they were.
But the thing is there's loads of really clever nods to it as well. Like, because obviously it's a lot darker when you have the Picard. Like the world of Picard is nothing like the world of Star Trek Generations, where everything's all happy clappy and the Federation's all perfect and brilliant.
Yeah.
And they even have this sort of chat about how they were so idealistic in their youth, and they saw everything through rose-tinted glasses, and they missed all these bits. So I love the way that ties in so beautifully with how like cheesy the old 1990s Generations was. Like the way they've got. I just love the way they played that because it's so true as well. As you get older, you lose your kind of rose-tinted glasses of the world, don't you? And you get slightly more cynical. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I think it's why I've just kind of got burnt out with Star Trek lately. Because I think they just chucked so much at it. There was so much of it around.
But then I think Strange New World actually does a really good job of almost reinventing that style.
Has it gone back to the episodic sort of?
It is more episodic, kind of thing, yeah. And it's just pre-Kirk as well, so it's familiar, but also they have that opportunity to develop entirely new storylines.
What I love is, did you watch Discovery? Yeah. What I love is like the third, the feat that I suppose there's a fourth now, isn't there? Like season 3 was the best one until they got a conclusion of it. But it's like, yeah, like how do they write out no one knowing about Discovery? Oh, Spock goes back and tells Star Trek to wipe it from everyone's memory and things like that. It's like, oh, okay, that deals with that.
I've never liked the time traveling, dimension skipping lines in Star Trek. I've never liked those storylines. They've always upset me.
Well, that's a bit like anything with multiverse and stuff as well.
Yeah,
it just gets messy and
complicated.
Yeah, trying to stay canon when you do that is
yeah. Loved DS9, loved Voyager, loved.
There's a reboot, not reboot. There's a sequel to DS9 coming as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there is actually.
See,
a lot of people didn't even like DS9. DS9 is one of my favourites.
DS9 was the best. DS9 was the best of the series for me.
I used to love DS9 as well. They got the Defiant. Yeah,
it was always a bit darker and a bit. It had like that rebellion-y kind of, or like the renegade. What do you call them? The Cardassians and like the Ferengi, who were like nasty little merchant sods and all that stuff. It felt much darker and dirtier.
Yeah, it was that's the whole point. Yeah, you're right on the kind of cusp. You're outside the Federation, kind of there, like right on the borders.
Yeah, frontier town. Kind of.
It's deep space, if you will. Yeah, I loved DS9. I really liked it. But a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it. Like, oh, we're in the same place. Well, that's why they gave you the Defiant, all right? God.
I think
cloaking.
Well, I think a lot of people did really like DS9 once it got going. I think it was the first 2 seasons were a bit too. They were trying to be a bit too next generation style until they got.
Yeah, it didn't really have its own. Didn't have
Once they let
flavour, did it?
Avery Brooks shave his head. It was brilliant.
Once he's bald, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Once you got, I think it's once you got into the Dominion Wars, wasn't it? That's when things really started getting really good.
Yeah.
It became a little bit more serial, didn't it, at that point, as opposed to it being like Monster of the
they
Week
were one-off episodes.
Yeah. Back at Dominion War.
And cut.
Do you think we've covered everything now?
Time for the intro.
Welcome, dear listeners. This is episode 9. No, we've covered 2 hours worth of stuff here, so don't know how much I'm going to cut out.
Well,
mostly Lewis.
2 hours.
Yeah. Me banging on about something. Although I was relatively positive today. I've been saying positive things about things I like, just not many of them are board games.
Well, we did start off very well with board games. And then we run out of stuff to talk about.
I think I was quite positive about board games, actually. Even board games I was quite positive about today.
Yeah.
Just don't mention video games, it'll be fine.
Well, no, you can mention computer games.
We didn't talk about one.
The problem.
We didn't talk about one TV show that I was meaning to talk about.
How's that?
Just to slip back into the TV section. Has anyone got Apple TV?
No.
No, I did have. But
it's worth it for one TV show alone.
I might watch
For All Mankind.
I haven't seen it.
For All Mankind. There's 3 seasons of it now, and the 3rd season came out this year, only about a couple of months ago or something, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Best TV show of the last 10 years.
Whoa.
The first 2 series are just incredible. Essentially, it starts with the conceit of what if the Russians made it to the moon first, and take it from there. So it's like revisionist history of what would have happened if that had been the case. You know, what would have happened to the space race? Where is it? So essentially, it gets to the point where in season 3 they're on Mars essentially now. So the space race is still going because the submarine is still going because they got to the moon first, and therefore it got momentum and didn't fail like they did. But it's it's just phenomenal. Some of the best episodes of TV. The final episode of season 2 is my favourite TV episode of any show ever. It's so good.
Wow.
So good. And I don't say that lightly. It's brilliant. Highly, highly recommended.
It's got to be good.
Free.
You can normally get a free
it's amazing.
Trial.
Yeah, it's so good. Really. And to be fair, Apple TV's got quite a few good things on it, but that is the
It has. Yeah, I watched a couple of good things when I had it for free, but I don't think I ever got to the point where I was like, I'll carry it on. There wasn't enough stuff on it, but I got it day one because I paid my iPad. Yeah.
At least, and I think it's only like $4.99 a month at the moment still. So it's like, it might be a little bit more. It might be $6.99 a month.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I can get it for free at the minute because like all the Apple stuff I've brought over the years, They say, "Oh, here's like 12 months free of Apple TV."
Yeah, but you normally have to activate it within a second.
No, I think it holds its. Long as you don't activate it, it's fine. I'll check, but it doesn't matter. It's got to be a good show because the lead character is called Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman. Yeah.
Does it take into account the fact that if a Cold War ever turns into a real war, the Russians are really shit at it?
No.
Literally, any real wars.
Remember, this is revisionist history, so this is stuff that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, the other show that's on Apple TV as well that competes for the title of best TV show of the last 10 years is another one called Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
That's one of the funniest, loveliest TV shows as well. Completely different. It's much more whimsical and fluffy, but it's just fantastic. The fact that Megan's watching a sitcom about football management and loves it more than I do says it all, quite frankly.
Amazing.
But yeah, that's highly recommended too. If you do, it means that it's double 2 for 1 if you get your Apple TV subscription. Watch those two, and that's you've basically watched 2 of the best TV shows going.
Okay. So we've got a full listing now to watch over the next year.
Yeah, but there'll be
From
more
Sam.
It'll push everything else to the back, won't it? So we'll see.
I've got a huge list to write up when I come to doing the show notes. Oh dear. Oh.
Excellent.
Is that everyone done?
Yeah.
Probably don't want to move on to books, do we?
What are they?
We did some books.
We did some books.
Did the Red Rising series? Did Game of Thrones?
We did.
I do like books. Okay, well, I'm just going to throw in Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. If anyone ever read it.
Yeah.
I've
listen to
probably
that.
the best book I've ever read. Probably the best book I've ever read.
It is very good.
So clever.
And I'm an arachnophobe, and I loved it. So.
Yeah, best sci-fi idea ever. The way it's presented. I've read most of his other books as well. None of his other books is good, and his follow-up books are terrible. But the Children of Time on its own is just absolutely phenomenal. I love it.
I like the second of the Children of Time. I can't remember what
Do you like the second one?
Yeah,
it was horrendous.
It was fun. It was nowhere near as good, but it's Children of Ruin, isn't it? Yeah.
Children of Ruin, yeah. And they've just released
Children of Memory.
Children of the Void, isn't it? Is it Children of the Void?
Yeah.
Children of Memory is the third in the series.
Oh, is it Children of Memory, is it?
Yeah. There's another series called The Final Architect. There's one called Shards of Earth. That was terrible. That's Shards of Earth. He has got some other but yeah, some of his series are incredible. So there's I finished reading his Shadows of the Apt series, which is more of
I love that. I actually really like that. Again, it's because I read Children of Time first. It paled in comparison, but I finished that series.
I binged that in I think I've read 8 out of 10 this year alone. It was
I love Adrian Tchaikovsky.
It was so good. And the other one for a sci-fi angle is there's one he did called Dogs of War, which is really cool.
Did you like that? I found that a bit weird.
It's hard to get into it because you kind of it's a book told from the point of the point of view of a
dog,
like a semi-AI dog that's been created for war. And
It's
sort of on missions, and it's all very much Master says do this, and it's all written from that perspective. So it's really.
But I'm good boy. But then he goes. He realizes he's being made to do evil, doesn't he?
Yeah, so good. From that, the conceit of it is really, really good.
Yeah,
and it's got a real kind of it's got that nice kind of heart-rending final to it and all that sort of stuff. It's nice. I like that one.
So have you read Children of Memory?
No, I haven't read that one yet.
Because I think it literally just came out.
That,
I was so disappointed in Children of Ruin that I don't think I'll be bothered.
I liked Children of Ruin. It was fine, but it was definitely not.
You like Children of Ruin? I found it really, really average sci-fi, below average. Whereas Children of Time is probably one of the best books I've ever read, let alone just sci-fi.
That's why it won the Arthur C. Clarke Award. Pretty good.
So good, so clever. So many twists and turns. You're like, no.
But just to give you guys, if you haven't read it, it's told from the perspective of a spider, Portia, I think.
Yeah,
Portia. But it's not just a spider; it's multiple generations of a family of spiders over millennia. It's so clever.
As they evolve into a spacefaring species.
Yeah. There are humans in it as well.
Yeah. So there's two perspectives, isn't there? There's the crew on the ship that are trying to survive, and then
stasis for thousands of years.
And they trying to evolve a planet with apes, but that doesn't work, and it actually starts evolving the spiders, and the spiders become the sentient.
Destroy Earth, and humans destroy Earth, and they decide to send out these arc ships. They're called, aren't they? Which are supposed to repopulate, and so all these ships are all the crew are kind of put into deep sleep, and then sent off to these places but before they go, there's this other load that gets sent before them that terraforms the planet, basically, and then also tries to set up this kind of perfect world in which it was supposed to have these apes that were supposed to be developed into like manservants for like the coming humans. But I can't remember what happened. The apes didn't survive. Something went wrong as it was happening, and so it ended up the spiders who ended up getting super evolved instead of the apes. And it's the story of how the spiders rapidly evolve in time for the meeting of the human ship arriving.
Yeah, it was a brilliant story. I mean, it was one of those. Good. I needed to keep going back because I listened to it on Audible. I had to keep going back like a chapter and say, what's just happened? I don't know where we've got from this to this. So I'll go back. Oh, I know. I get it now. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I listened to books on Audible, and two great books or series I listened to. One was called The Perfect Run. It's 3 books long, and it's basically humans have developed like a medicine to give to people that give them superpowers, and it'd just be random what they get. They don't really know what they're going to get. So there's a guy called the chemist who made up these solutions, and there were different colours. And if you were sent a pack, then you're going to get superpowers of a type. But sometimes these packages didn't arrive, so people would have found them. And like this guy finds one, takes it, and he basically becomes like a video game where he can save at a point in life. And if he dies, he goes back to that point in life, and he can rerun it again. And he remembers what happened previously, so he keeps rerunning stuff. Trying to get the perfect run, and it kind of evolves that he's actually lived like nearly over 500 years, because he keeps going back and restarting stuff, and he's learning new stuff each time. Like he's learned blood, like the study of blood, and a study of these powers and engineering and things like that, and starts creating stuff. But it gets to this point where he's now arrived because he's looking for someone, but he's coming across like the biggest, baddest super being of all that seems to be indestructible. So now he's trying to like stop this person, because actually it's going to be end of the world if it carries on, because he's seen it. So so the 3 books go through that, and it's just brilliant. Loved every minute of listening to it. And then the other one I listened to is The Sandman. I know there was a TV series done on it, but the books, well, it's a comic book really, but the books are narrated, so there's a famous person for each character doing the voices. It's brilliant. Sound effects are amazing. Music is amazing. Neil Gaiman, who actually wrote the stories, actually narrates it, and it's brilliant. And I'm on book 3.
Like a radio play.
It is, yeah. It's basically a radio play. I'm on book 3 at the minute, and it's just amazing. Like the stories behind it. It's based in the DC world as well, so you get DC characters coming in it, and which was quite funny because when there's TV series out, I was like, is it going to be included? And because John Constantine is in the book 1, and I was like, so what are they going to do that? But they casted Joanne Coleman, is that her name? She was in Doctor Who, one of the sidekicks.
Oh, Jenna Coleman.
Jenna Coleman, that's it. She's Joanna Constantine, and I think that's a way of them getting around the DC universe in a way.
It is, yeah.
Right. Cool.
So
Constantine is actually a family of people with Constantine's abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not John in this case.
Right.
Yeah.
The TV show works really well as well.
Yeah, TV show is good actually. I enjoyed it.
I'm about halfway through it, I think, or 3/4 way through it. Really enjoying that.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, it's amazing TV play. I think if you have Audible subscription, you can get the first book free, and then you get a token anyway to buy a book with your subscription, so you can get the second one, and then it's just a third one after that. But so yeah, that's how I picked it up. I got the first book free with my subscription and listened to it, and I was like, this is amazing. Love this.
If anyone else, if anyone quite likes their sci-fi, there's it's called the Odyssey, I think Odyssey 1 series or Odyssey series by Evan Curry. First one's called Into the Black. That's really really quite good. If you like it deals with how battles in space would happen much more realistically than sort of your Star Wars or Star Trek or anything like that, because obviously what would actually happen is you'd be billions of miles apart because there's nothing between you, and when you fire a laser, even if the laser travels at the speed of light, it could still take several minutes for it to hit, and then several minutes for you to know if you've hit. And so it's that kind of cat and mouse game that happens because they go out in like a ship that happens to have new technology for the current world, but is massively underpowered in the world of in the kind of world out there, but has a few advantages in that it kind of can't be detected because all their scanners look for kind of significantly higher power signatures that they don't register how little power it could possibly have. So you have these kind of like cat and mouse, kind of almost like old like submarine battles, kind of the good submarine battles that you kind of read about World War II kind of stories. So there's some really good kind of stories there in the Odyssey ones. It gets a bit far-fetched after kind of there's like a couple of spin-off series where it gets a bit funny, but certainly the first few are definitely worth having a look at.
That's kind of because that concept was kind of done in another series called the Honor Harrington books by I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember what the name of the author is now. I'll have to David Webber.
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of like a space military kind of series. Very similar. It's like the idea being that you launch these kinetic missiles at another ship, but essentially it's like, because of the way space travel works, that missile is launched at a trajectory that will intercept your ship, the ship you're attacking.
Yeah.
There's nothing much that ship can easily do about it because they're on that route already. They can't slow down or speed up particularly much in that time frame, or they can't switch course. It's not like just evasive maneuvers kind of style. They can't do those because of the way that the way movement in space works. So it's all about kind of trying to shoot down missiles that are coming in and stuff like that.
This is almost the complete opposite, because this is then, because things are so far apart and traveling at and takes so long to hit, it only takes one little change in your course that by the time the laser actually gets to you, it's actually missed you by 1,000,000 miles. Like you can.
Yeah. It's got what I'm saying is it's the same thing where it takes logical space maneuvering.
Rather
than doing the hokey Star Trek, whizzy bang moving around multiple.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's if you like your sort of military sci-fi kind of stuff, then it sounds like you haven't read those. That's another good series.
Yeah, they sound good.
Basilisk Station. It's all very, very underdog kind of, typical honourable captain gets shat on by those above kind of style stuff to start with.
So yeah.
All very
sounds like they're definitely one inspired the other. Well, there's quite a few like that, I guess. But this one I read a lot, and there's only a few books that actually kind of really stick out. But these sort of stuck out a little bit.
Yeah. yeah, basically,
Right, chaps.
About it,
I've got to head off.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
Yeah, must be time.
We
I've got to
As well. I've got to go to work.
Another 20-minute detour from.
See, this is when we just talk about games. It's easy because we've got to define the list of stuff.
Yeah, would have been done in 20 minutes for once.
Time to go have some Christmas dinner. That's what I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, people have definitely got their money's worth with this podcast, and hope they're enjoying their Christmases. But we're off to go and join our families again, and enjoy the rest of the evening. So, I'd like to say good night from everyone, and thank you for joining us on the podcast. And you can find everything we talked about, hopefully, in the show notes below. So, good night, guys.
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Take care, all. Bye.
Well, guys, that wraps up another show for this year, and the very last show. I do hope you've enjoyed listening to the shows. I am sorry that we missed basically half the year. Things happened and it couldn't be helped, but we got back on track. The guys seem really raring to do more podcasts, so do stay tuned for the future. In the new year, we have plans on the horizons to change up a little bit, making it a bit more structured and more centraled. I don't know if that's the right term, but more central. Don't worry, still going to be about board games. From me, Joel Wright, Sam Freeman, Nick Shaw and Lewis Jones, we want to say a big thank you for listening to the podcast, downloading them, and doing what you do with them. It all helps. And from us on the team, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we hope you are able to play lots of board games over the festive period. If not, you can check out the other things we talked about, those TV series, the movies, and we do hope and look forward to coming back in the new year in 2023. It's going to be glorious, I can tell you.